Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:10. I'm Manda Factor. Former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, who twice ran for Congress in Washington's 3rd District, is speaking out about his resignation.
Kent tells KIRO News Radio's John Curley the U.S. has painted itself into a corner in Iran, and he's not sure President Trump can get out of it.
Iran is just so big, it's just so geostrategically essential that the problems aren't Iraq or Afghanistan size. It's times 10 and it affects the whole world.
Kent stepped down in March, claiming Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Trump at the time said Kent was a nice guy, but weak on security, and given his take on Iran, it was a good thing he resigned. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
You can watch John's entire interview with Kent on mynorthwest.com. Seattle could soon allow bigger homeless shelter sites across the city. A city council committee voted yesterday to raise the cap on temporary shelter locations from 100 residents to 150. According to the Seattle Times, one site could even hold up to 250 people. It's a big piece of Mayor Katie Wilson's plan to create 4,000 new emergency beds by the end of her term. The bill heads to the full council for a vote later this month. Right now, there are more than 600 beds spread across 15 tiny home villages in Seattle. With the expanded caps, that number could grow to more than 1,100 just in those existing sites. An explosion rocked the Everett Police South Precinct parking lot Tuesday night. Police say a white van pulled in around 9:15, then caught fire, over-pressurizing the van's seals and causing a blast. The 35-year-old driver was arrested, booked into jail on suspicion of first-degree arson. Detectives are trying to figure out why he did it. Anyone with information is asked to call Everett Police. Many questions remain after a man's toy poodle was killed by a larger dog at the Tacoma Marathon event over the weekend. The News Tribune reports Paul Beck had just finished his half marathon Sunday at Dune Peninsula Park when his 10-year-old poodle Brownie ran up to greet him. Moments later, Brownie was attacked by a pit bull mix that was there with the Humane Society for Tacoma and Pierce County, one of the event's sponsors. The dog had only been returned to the shelter 2 days before. Beck says he wants to know why a dog surrendered that recently was brought to a crowded event with kids and other dogs without a muzzle. The Humane Society says it's reviewing its event protocols. The attacking dog was later classified as dangerous and put down. More homes, slower sales. KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo looks at our housing market as it enters peak season.
The latest data from the Northwest MLS show active listings jumped more than 28% from a year ago.
Volume of transactions is still down.
Anton Alexander is a Seattle broker with Compass Real Estate and says homes are still selling if they're priced right.
The listings I'm watching sit are not sitting because of the economy. They're sitting because the opening price didn't match the market's current temperature.
Alexander says many buyers are simply sitting out due to several factors, including interest rates and fears over inflation or layoffs. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's push for an NBA team is taking another step forward. According to the Seattle Times, Samantha Holloway, majority owner of the Kraken, has hired financial advisors to help shape a formal expansion bid. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has repeatedly said expansion is on the horizon. And the Mariners ended their up-and-down homestand on a high note, beating the Atlanta Braves 3-1. Julio Rodriguez launched his 5th home run of the season.
This one's not coming back. It's in the pen. Gone! Julio! Monster solo home run.
Pitcher Brian Wu struck out 9 over 6 innings. Next up, Mariners hit the road to start a 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox starting tomorrow night. It's 5:13. Time for a check on traffic this early Thursday morning. Chris Sullivan is here. Good morning.
Morning. So we get swept by the Royals.
Yeah.
And then are the first team to take a series from Atlanta, who's one of the best teams in baseball.
Streaky?
Wow.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. Here we go again. Looking at the roads right now, we're in pretty good shape. Not much action going on across the board. Looking at a clean drive from Olympia into Seattle, really all green on that map. Freeway speed the whole way. Then 35 minutes if you're coming up the Valley Freeway. Renton to Bellevue is under 15. Lake Bridges still quiet coming down from the north end. A little bit of braking by the Boeing Freeway on southbound 5, but really not much, just to kind of as you merge over. And then away from that, we're pretty good. Only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And Our forecast will stay mostly cloudy, much like yesterday, but some sun breaks too. 66 the high for today. For tomorrow, again, mostly cloudy, 65, but sun breaks. Saturday looks great, a little bit warmer than we had anticipated. We're looking for 73 now, with clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. Sunday, Mother's Day, looks nice too, around 70 with a mix of sun and clouds. It's cloudy and 53 in Seattle right now, and coming up, G. Scott has some thoughts on Delta Airlines ending food and beverage service for some passengers. We'll get to that next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
The G and Ursula Show.
This was an incredible weekend.
That sun was peaking and speaking.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
I messed up though, Ursula, last night.
What happened?
I didn't turn the ACs on. Woke up around 12 a.m. Then I was looking for like a new pillowcase because we got the winter ones on still. And so I had to go in another room and grab another pillow.
You weren't ready for the summer temperatures.
No.
On KIRO News Radio. Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagayach has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
And here he is from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. And, of course, the Reset Podcast on mynorthwest.com. G. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Good morning. So, Delta Airlines, starting May 19th, if you fly Delta on anything under the 350 miles, anything under 350 miles, no snack, no drink, nothing. Main cabin, comfort plus, basically you're on your own. Now, first class, you're good. You're good.
So you're fine.
So you're fine. And so when Ursula and I talked about this yesterday, and look, it's not just about whether it's pretzels or, excuse me, ma'am, can I have a ginger ale? It's not just that. This is the continuation of working class people in this country having to spend more. And here's what I mean. So you get on this plane, there's no snacks for you. So you know that going forward. So now you know that in the airport, you're going to have to purchase some snacks for you and your kids and your family. And we all know that the water bottle there is $17. No, let me be serious. It's about $4 for a water bottle. Yeah. And if a family of 4 to spend money at the airport, you're probably looking at $75+. So that's the kind of the frustration at the same time that everything else, you name it, it is getting more expensive. So it's the little things. And then, people have been talking about, Spirit Airlines is no more. And I'll be honest, I've made some jokes about Spirit Airlines in the past. But the one thing that Spirit Airlines did, it was really good for people that would love to take that trip, or the college kid or that wants to get home to see his mom or dad and his family, and you get an inexpensive trip. Now, granted, you might have to pack everything into a water bottle to get there so you don't get charged all of the different fees, but Spirit Airlines was an airline for a lot of working class folks that needed that. Again, this is a continuation of, people, this is a microcosm right here, removing the little snacks and, it's no big deal. Well, that's on top of everything else. And so collectively, it is a big deal.
Seems like once one airline does something like this, the others fall in line and do the same.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. You go back to 2008, I think it was United Airlines that was the first to charge, because before it used to be your first bag flew free.
Baggage fees.
Well, because of the recession that was happening, United Airlines was like, hey, you know what? We're going to charge you for the bag. And other airlines said,
we can do that?
We can do that.
And people will still buy tickets. Look at that, because people need to fly.
Yeah, and guess what? It never went back. So, and this is also an indicator because, jet fuel is more expensive than it was. I'm sure and I know you can't blame the Climate Commitment Act for jet fuel, but it is the first time in a long time where, like, Delta Airlines, this is just the beginning. They potentially might have to, okay, we cut that. They're trying to do everything they can to stop raising these ticket prices. And if you guys, I don't know if you know anybody that has gotten that direct flight. You purchased it maybe 3-4 months ago, and you go to look at that flight, and it's now a connecting flight now. Some that are canceling some flights, not just Delta Airlines, just airlines in general.
Airline-related question. I'm curious because you're a guy who thinks a lot. I wonder if you have any theories on this for me. Why do so many people get ginger ale on airplanes? I can go to the store. It's a very small section at the store. It seems like half the people I see on a plane are drinking ginger ale. Thoughts?
I don't have any. There's a reason. The reason why I do, because I don't see folks around me get ginger ale. Literally, why do folks get? I'm seeing people get screwdrivers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's up in first class.
Ponderous.
I agree with your observation, Charlie. And I think as a kid, I remember we didn't really get soda at all. But if we were to go on an airplane, then they would come around. The attendant would ask us little kids also, hey, what do you guys want to drink? And so ours was usually either ginger ale or Sierra Mist. And there's something about being up in the air. Makes it taste a little crisper. Maybe the bubbles are a little more. It hits different.
How about this? I don't have anything on the ginger ale because I don't see that.
Okay.
However, I got one for you.
Okay.
In the air, I love Biscoff cookies.
Oh, isn't that funny? But I would never buy them.
but down below on the ground.
Do they even sell them?
Yeah, they do.
They do, and they still taste good, by the way. They're still yummy cookies.
But something about the Biscoff cookies at 30,000 feet in the air and I said, and I eat that cookie slow too.
Yeah. Since you're not going to get any more.
And it's the one time I'm like, you don't mind. And I do it like this. You don't mind if I get a few of those, do you? And they say, go ahead and take it.
You sweet talker. All right. Gee, you may be excused.
Oh, man, we're out of here.
Now I'm craving ginger ale and cookies. It's going to be a nice day. Not too much in the way of sunshine. Mostly cloudy. Some sun breaks for the afternoon, just like yesterday. 66 the high for today. Pretty much the same deal tomorrow. The weekend looks terrific, though. Partly sunny Saturday, 73. Mother's Day on Sunday, around 70 in the sunshine with a few more clouds. Right now in Seattle, cloudy skies. It's 53 degrees. And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has Tech Talk this week, how Meta is looking to prevent children under the age of 14 from using its platforms. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising costs and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Wait! Before you change the station, listen to this.
CarsForKids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, May 13th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Dr. Wagner, what joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Join his free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, May 13th. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Manda Factor. Former counterterrorism chief Joe Kent, who resigned in March over the Iran war, sat down for an extensive interview with KIRO News Radio.
I'm glad to be able to, speak freely.
When Kent stepped down, he said Iran did not pose an imminent threat to the United States. Now he tells KIRO's John Curley he's concerned with the direction things are going.
We've kind of painted ourselves into a corner, and I don't know if Trump's going to be able to find a way that he can get himself out of it.
Kent says initially Trump was, in his words, dead set on agreeing to a deal with Iran. That was up until Israel struck military and nuclear targets there last June. When Kent resigned, Trump said he was weak on security, and if he didn't think Iran was a threat, it was a good thing he left. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A Covington man accused of staging a home invasion and killing his wife. KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas says a police report shows Kyle Cathcart gave detectives access to a Ring camera inside the home.
The video showed a man in a black hoodie, roughly Cathcart's size, entering the house. Investigators say that's who Cathcart claimed he saw stabbing his wife, Jody, on their bed. Cathcart told investigators he chased the man. The man poked him in the stomach with the knife, causing several small cuts. But a little while later, investigators found dark clothes ditched in a pile of garbage in the backyard. And they also found blood near the garage keypad where there were no surveillance cameras.
Investigators say Cathcart admitted to the crime when he was arrested. He's set to be in court again today. An update on the longtime Bellingham Rock along I-5. The state says the landmark accidentally broke into pieces. It was being removed as part of a fish passage project near Chuckanut Creek. WashDOT hoped to move the rock for public display, but that's no longer possible. They're now working on plans to give out a limited number of pieces to the public. More details expected soon. It's 5:33, time for a check on the roads. Chris Sullivan is here. I'm going to miss the rock. I used to live in Bellingham. I loved seeing the rock when I was
Can we get a
home.
piece of it to put in the studio?
Probably.
Here?
They're actually thinking about doling out pieces.
Yeah, because they can't move it anymore because they broke it up too much.
It can be our centerpiece.
Yeah, well, it could be our conduit.
You are our conduit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It really is, especially for the people up there who really, really, really liked it and have such an emotional attachment to that. Yeah, didn't work out well. Looking at the drive now, we do have a crash to tell you about northbound I-5 approaching 320th and Federal Way. It is in the left general purpose lane, so we're seeing the emergency vehicles haven't quite gotten there yet, but we're backing up now before Highway 18, so plan on about a 5 to 8 minute delay at this particular moment. Once you're through that, it's a pretty good drive the rest of the way on up into Seattle. The Valley Freeway, only about 36 minutes to go from end to end. A little westbound slowing on 410 just getting there into Sumner, but that's just volume. Renton to Bellevue is only 15 minutes. Lake bridges are quiet. Haven't quite started seeing the braking southbound 5 or 405 as of yet. Under 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. We do have a little westbound slowing across the trestle. That appears to just be volume. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast today and tomorrow, pretty much the same deal. We'll see mostly cloudy skies with some sun breaks here and there. Highs in the mid-60s. Saturday, warming up to 73. Should see more in the way of sunshine in the afternoon hours. And then on Sunday, some clouds roll back in. We'll still be up around 70 for Mother's Day. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 53.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
It's 5:36 now. Time for Tech Talk. A lot of kids these days lie about their age in order to create social media accounts. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports Meta now says they're trying to block underage users once and for all on Instagram and Facebook using AI.
Can social media really tell if you're a teenager or just pretending to be one? Jennifer Hanley, head of safety policy for Meta, tells me now they can.
We're able to look at a whole variety of different signals so that we can help detect underage accounts.
Meta is incorporating AI to detect underage users who might lie and claim they're older than 13 so they can use platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
So now what we're able to do is look at profiles, but also things like Instagram Live and Reels, Facebook groups, things like comments and captions and bios.
And Meta can collect all those pieces within seconds, along with other visual pieces to put that age puzzle together.
We're not recognizing you with your facial recognition. We're looking for signals that someone's, bone structure or height might indicate that they're a child and not an adult, for example. So they, might be misrepresenting that they're an adult, but actually be someone who's like 10 or 11. We're trying to find those accounts so that we can deactivate them.
However, collecting all that data raises flags for Suzanne Bernstein with the Electronic Privacy Information Center.
All the information that we post or that we provide to Meta using these platforms, we don't have much control over how that information is used, and we don't have as many privacy protections as we might think.
Meta's rollout also comes as Meta faces intense legal scrutiny over child safety. In March, a jury in New Mexico found Meta liable for failing to protect children from exploitation online. In California, a separate jury found Meta and YouTube responsible for features that allegedly contributed to addiction and mental health harm among young users. I recently talked with the lead attorney in that case, Matt Bergman, who's based right here in Seattle.
Anyone who has kids experiences the consequences of social media addiction, and some of the parents experience very horrific consequences.
Meta declined to comment on those cases, and they are appealing. When I asked Hanley what is Meta's responsibility when it comes to child safety, she told me safety is an industry-wide issue.
We're one company. There are so many different platforms out there that teens use.
And Meta said it's time for federal regulation.
Passing legislation that allows for age verification and parental approval at the App Store level. We do feel a strong responsibility. We're very committed to doing this. That's why we have been investing in tools and resources and safety for, more than a decade.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey. The World Video Game Hall of Fame will announce its class of 2026 today.
The 12 finalists include Frogger, where you had to get a frog across a 5-lane highway. Galaga, the arcade space shooter game. FIFA International Soccer, the most popular sports game franchise of all time, and Angry Birds, the 2009 hit seemingly everyone had on their first smartphones. The new inductees will join the 49 games already enshrined in the World Video Game Hall of Fame, which is in Rochester, New York. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
I say Frogger all the way. 5:39 and national headlines on the way next here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, you know Earthwise Salvage in Soto? That really cool place with all the amazing doors, windows, and other treasure? Great news! They just opened a brand new location nearby. The Salvage Lumber Warehouse is ready to serve as a central resource for contractors, builders, home DIYers, and hobbyist woodworkers, providing access to clean, de-nailed lumber ready for reuse, flooring, beams, siding, mantles, live edge slabs, and so much more. All harvested from structures, not forests. Visit EWSalvage.com.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Well, I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage too. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I took the First Mark Challenge too, and I'm thrilled to say that First Mark is saving us thousands. Now, that's what I call a victory. You know, I was with the same agent for so long, I simply assumed they were working hard to get me the best coverage and save me money. But it wasn't the case, and you should find out too by taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit, and that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, me included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge right now. It's totally free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
CBS News Brief. Twisters have toppled trees, flattened homes, and knocked out power across Mississippi. Dozens rushed to Pastor Jim Brazil's church in Purvis for shelter.
Our fellowship hall was destroyed. Both awnings were destroyed. 2 buildings out here were gone. Just total devastation.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is at the Vatican for a papal audience, a day after President Trump's latest criticism of Pope Leo.
Whether I make him happy or I don't make him happy, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And he seemed to be saying that they can.
The operator of the hantavirus-infected ship says no one left on board has symptoms as the MV Hondius makes its way to Spain. CBS's Tom Hansen.
Quiero manifestar mi profundo rechazo.
Some local leaders there are rejecting the ship's arrival, adding to the concern a growing number of reported cases, 8 in total.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Our forecast for today and tomorrow, pretty much the same deal. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, but some sun breaks too. Highs in the mid-60s. Saturday looks great, warming up to 73 with lots of sunshine in the afternoon. And then Sunday, Mother's Day, more clouds, but warm temperatures right around 70 for Sunday. Right now, cloudy and 53 in Seattle. And coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna gives an update on the legal challenge of the state's income tax on millionaires. And that's next here on Seattle's Morning News.
A shot to center field. Julio is there, and Julio makes the catch!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house, even when there's not an actual seat, because you're in the T-Mobile pen.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
The pen isn't just the perfect space to hang with your whole crew. It's where you can see Julio defend the no-fly zone 1 minute and watch Senor Smoke get ready for his big entrance the next.
Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Sure, the pen is standing room only, but with a team this exciting, who wants to be sitting down? Mariners baseball. Try this up.
With Mariners Value Games, you can score tickets starting under $12 on select dates all season, including the series against the White Sox, May 18th through 20th. And on the 18th and 19th, you can also take home a Josh Naylor bobblehead, thanks to Western Washington Toyota dealers. Get your tickets at mariners.com/value games.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
This is the city's longest running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
A hit this week to the legal battle against the state's income tax on millionaires as the Washington Supreme Court ruled to uphold language in the new law shielding it from a referendum effort.
The legal challenge against the new tax is being led by our weekly contributor, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Rob, good morning. Can you explain this ruling?
Well, this ruling came out of a case that was brought to challenge the Secretary of State's decision to not allow a referendum to be filed on the new income tax bill. And the supporters of that referendum said, look, this tax doesn't take effect for several years, and therefore it is not currently necessary to support the state government, and a referendum should be permitted. The Supreme Court ruled that the tax revenue doesn't have to be immediately available, and importantly, cited a, quote, unbroken line of precedent, which holds that tax bills and appropriation bills are not subject to referendum. That caught my eye, of course, because we also have an unbroken line of precedent stating that income is property under our state's definition, our Constitution's definition of property, which is everything tangible and intangible subject to ownership. And of course, income is part of everything. It's an intangible and it's subject to ownership. So I'm glad to see the Supreme Court, being consistent and with this unbroken line of precedent in the referendum case. I think that the plaintiffs, had an argument about the fact that this tax doesn't really produce revenue for the state until 2029. But they still have the option of bringing an initiative to the ballot to overturn the tax. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, Rob, it's been a few years since ninth grade Washington State history with Mr. Vanderbilt at Woodway High School, but we went over this then, and I have totally forgotten. What is the difference between a referendum and an initiative?
Well, an initiative is a power granted to the people by amendment to the Constitution to allow a law to be written and sent to the voters and enacted by the voters. It's simply allowing them to act as the legislature to pass a bill. A referendum subjects legislation passed by the legislature to the vote of the people. And, the legislature can choose to send a measure to the ballot for a referendum vote saying, okay, we passed this. Now, what do you think, voters? They have chosen not to do that with the income tax bill. And there are two exceptions to that referendum power that are written into the Constitution. And by the way, the initiative and referendum powers were not in the original Constitution in 1889. They were passed by the voters as Amendment number 7 to the Constitution. I think it was 1912. And, it was part of an era of progressive reforms where the voters wanted to, hold more power themselves. But in that Amendment number 7, there are two exceptions to the referendum power. The first exception is for bills that are basically emergencies. That's the idea. It's called the emergency clause. They're necessary, immediately necessary for the preservation of, the peace, of health, and safety. The second exception is for bills like the state budget that are necessary to operate the state government. And the authors of the amendment did not want voters to be able to stop a budget or stop revenue sources necessary for support of the state government because they thought it would be, presumably, because they thought it would be chaotic. Unfortunately, over the last couple of decades, the legislature has hung emergency clauses on more and more and more legislation to prevent them from being subjected to referendum. Now, why would they do that when there's the initiative power? Well, because you only have to gather, under the Constitution, you only have to gather half the number of signatures to get a referendum qualified for the ballot as compared to an initiative. So it's a lot less expensive and less onerous to get a measure to the ballot by referendum. And the legislature has decided to block more and more bills from the ballot by affixing the emergency clause to it. And then you've still got the necessary to support exception as well. So less and less legislation is subject to a popular vote because of the use of those two clauses.
Rob, this is candidate filing week in Washington State, and there are 5 Supreme Court openings that voters will be deciding on. So how do I ask this question of a Supreme Court candidate that might get some sort of response or indication of how they're leaning? Because, a lot of times they'll just say, well, I can't comment on pending cases before the court.
Yeah, it's ethically, they are not going to or shouldn't comment on how they would rule on a case that might be before them. So that's important. You can ask them general questions about their judicial philosophy. An example could be, how do you view precedent and the importance of precedent, and when do you think it's appropriate to overturn established precedents or an unbroken line of precedent? There was a justice about 10 years ago on the state Supreme Court who got a lot of attention when she said, we, the Supreme Court, are not here to follow precedent. We are here to do justice. Well, in fact, they are there to follow precedent. I mean, the stability of our legal system derives in part from the fact that the appellate courts, including the highest courts of the land, do respect precedent and do follow it, unless there's really an exceptional reason to not do so. And that reason just isn't present when it comes to the idea of a progressive income tax versus an income tax limited by the rules for property taxes. It's not there because the language of the Constitution is plain, because there have been a series of Supreme Court decisions that are not clearly wrong, which is one of the standards. The state will argue, well, this absence of a progressive income tax is harmful, but it's not, in the sense that the voters have decided 10 times they like the system that we have. And the path forward to have a progressive income tax is quite clear. It is not for the legislature to pass an unconstitutional bill. It is for them to do what 6 other legislatures have done and send a constitutional amendment to the voters, excluding income from the definition of property. The voters have had 6 opportunities to do that, and they've rejected all of them. But that's the path forward. The voters created this rule. The voters have the power to change it. The right way to do it is to send it to the voters. So how do you feel about precedent candidate? How do you feel about the standards for overturning precedents? Those are general questions I think they can answer.
Rob, you're overthinking this. Rob, here's what I'm going to do. Hear me out.
Right.
Here's what I'll say. Come on. You know how you're going to decide. Just tell me. Tell us. What do you think?
I don't think that'll work.
Good luck with that, Charlie.
I appreciate it.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Our forecast for your Thursday and Friday, actually, they look pretty much the same. Will be mostly cloudy with some sun breaks in the afternoon, highs in the mid-60s. Saturday looks really nice, warming up to 73 with lots of sunshine in the afternoon. A few more clouds roll in on Sunday for Mother's Day with a high around 70. Still some sun breaks, though. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 53 degrees. Coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports on the Seattle City Council's move to expand homeless shelter site sizes. Also, Chris Sullivan has a really important choke point today. Big changes coming for drivers on 520 next week. It'll be confusing if you don't know about it. Sully will explain coming up at 6:15. Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. You can also contact us by texting on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. That's 888-973-5476. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, May 13th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Dr. Wagner, what joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Join his free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, May 13th. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
You can't control what's happening in the world. You can't control gas prices or what the market does tomorrow. But you can control whether your retirement is protected when the unexpected hits. That's what Rajiv Nagayach has dedicated his career to helping families do. Not just picking investments, but building one plan that brings your healthcare, housing, legal, and financial decisions together into a single strategy. A strategy designed to keep you out of a nursing home, protect your assets, and keep your family from becoming your unpaid caregivers. If the last weeks have made you uneasy about your future, you need help. Join Rajiv at a free 90-minute seminar this May. You'll see where most plans fall short and how yours doesn't have to.
Register for a free LifePoint Law Retirement Planning Seminar in Puyallup on May 5th, Federal Way on May 6th, Bellevue on May 7th, or Linwood on May 12th. Seminars begin at 6:30 p.m. Space is limited, so sign up at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Bells at the Vatican, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just wrapped up a private meeting with Pope Leo. It comes a day after President Trump repeated his criticism of the pontiff's opposition to the Iran war. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The talks lasted about 2.5 hours. The State Department says they underscored the strong relationship between the U.S. and the Vatican and the shared commitment to promoting peace and human dignity. Rubio is also expected to meet with Italian officials who have strongly criticized the war with Iran.
Gas prices in the U.S. are inching closer to an average $5 a gallon. They're up to $4.56 today. Whirlpool has just warned fuel prices have triggered a recession-level decline in the appliance industry. There's devastation across Mississippi after twisters ripped through overnight. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano.
There were 14 reported tornadoes across the state, and Mississippi's Emergency Management Agency says hundreds of homes were impacted. A little farther north, another tornado ripped the roofs off homes in the town of Purvis, causing some walls to collapse. The remains of the living rooms now exposed to the elements.
We're learning more about what's said to be a suicide message from the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
This note, potentially written by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, appears to read in part, "They investigated me for months, found nothing. It is a treat to be able to choose one's time to say goodbye."
The message had been sealed from public view for the last 7 years. Police in Erie, Pennsylvania say scammers stole thousands of dollars from Walmart shoppers using skimmers.
The thieves installed the skimmer devices on the card readers at the store's self-checkout terminals.
Welcome. Please scan your first item.
The skimmers recorded shoppers' card data and PINs, giving the thieves access to those accounts. In all, they stole more than $38,000 from 80 Walmart customers. Police say the store's surveillance video caught the suspects tampering with the checkout terminals. The analytics company FICO says skimming scams surged 90% last year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
More bad press for Twinkies and potato chips.
Research published in the European Heart Journal found that adults with diets high in ultra-processed foods have up to a 19% higher risk of developing heart disease and up to 65% increased risk of cardiovascular death compared to people with diets very low in ultra-processed foods.
CBS's Jared Hill. Dow futures up 119, oil below 100. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
6:03 Thursday morning. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan.
Well, we've got about a 30-minute delay to greet you on this Thursday morning. For those of you trying to make your way from Olympia up through Federal Way, 2 crashes along that corridor really putting us behind. We're going to look at first the 10-minute delay we have on northbound I-5 getting past the Tacoma Dome up towards the Puyallup River Bridge. The right lane remains blocked there for a crash right by Portland Ave, and so we're seeing a pretty significant slowing there. It's going to take you 40 minutes from Olympia into Tacoma. There's your plus 10. And then we have have the HOV lane and left general purpose lane blocked on northbound I-5 approaching 320th and Federal Way. That's where we get a 35-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's plus 25. So if you're just trying to get from Tacoma to Federal Way right now, you're probably losing a half an hour. And not very many good alternates, because we also have a crash, or did have a crash, on northbound 167 just north of Highway 18 coming out of Auburn. So we're already over 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about 20. Coming down from the north end, already 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And we do have action southbound 5 right at the 529 interchange in Marysville. So not a good way to start your Thursday. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. With the gas prices so high, now's the time to consider a hybrid or all-electric at Subaru of Puyallup. Great selection, pricing, right at your stress-free dealership, SubaruPuyallup.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. The Seattle City Council is pushing forward with legislation to expand the size of temporary shelters for the homeless.
This is all part of Mayor Katie Wilson's plan to create 4,000 new emergency beds by the end of her term. And we get more live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
So this was a committee vote. So the bill is not final, but it's closer than ever right now to expand the size of temporary shelters around the city by 50%. Any location hosting tiny homes, RVs, and tents, although it can't only be tents, can now grow from 100 residents up to 150. But it came with 4 amendments, and that is where public comment took a turn yesterday. Several homeless advocate organizations asked the committee to reject every single one of those amendments.
Without shelter, people do die, and sometimes red tape kills. Homeless people, including those in low-barrier shelters, are people in need, not predators.
And so here's what the amendments are. 2 would require sites with more than 100 beds to have a public safety plan and be staffed 24/7. Another requires shelters have an agreement with nearby neighborhoods and on expectations of behavior. And the last one mandates that you have to have one manager to every 15 residents with high needs. The nonprofit Share Wheel was pretty vocal against all of those rules.
It resembles the organization of a prison more than of a shelter. In all your legislation, trust experienced providers more. Act on reason and compassion, not fear.
Yeah, so they don't want to put limits on any of the expansion of shelters around the city. One amendment that was withdrawn, however, would have created buffer zones between shelters and schools and parks. Some council members worried it might limit where they could place shelters in the city and also follow a new state law that requires cities to allow more shelter in all neighborhoods. This will go to a full council vote next month.
Just want to make sure I'm clear. Sure. So they will not have an agreement with nearby neighborhoods with expectations for behavior?
They will, but there will not be a buffer zone saying you cannot create a shelter in X proximity to a school, say. And not because of the residents, they say, but because in their words, drugs might make their way to that area because drug dealers would go to those camps and shelters to sell.
Understood. Luke Ducey reporting live at 6:07.
The man accused of luring and raping a 15-year-old girl in North Seattle Monday was in court yesterday. Prosecutors charged Joshua Kovalchevsky with first-degree rape and kidnapping. According to court documents, Kovalchevsky was on a bicycle Monday when he approached the girl as she stood at a bus stop near Northeast 103rd Street and 5th Avenue Northeast. He allegedly lured her into the woods and assaulted her. Here's prosecutor spokesman Casey McNerney.
King County prosecutors asked for him to be held on $1 million bail, and the court said bail at that amount.
McNerney says Kovalchevsky was not charged with rape of a child because current charges more accurately describe his actions and carry more severe penalties if convicted.
Former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, who twice ran for Congress in Washington's 3rd District, is speaking to KIRO News Radio about his resignation.
Kent tells KIRO News Radio's John Curley the U.S. has painted itself into a corner in Iran, and he's not sure President Trump can get out of it.
Iran is just so big, it's just so geostrategically essential that the problems aren't Iraq or Afghanistan size. It's times 10 and it affects the whole world.
Kent stepped down in March, claiming Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Trump at the time said Kent was a nice guy, but weak on security, and given his take on Iran, it was a good thing he resigned. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And you can catch John's entire interview with Joe Kent on mynorthwest.com.
An update on the long-time Bellingham Rock along I-5. The state says the landmark accidentally broke into pieces It was being removed as part of a fish passage project near Chuckanut Creek. The Department of Transportation hoped to move the rock for public display elsewhere. That's no longer possible. They're now working on plans to give out a limited number of pieces to the public. More details are expected soon.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
6:09 on a Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger, Manda Factor. Good morning.
Good morning. It's May 7th, for heaven's sakes.
The month is zipping by, but we're going to enjoy this almost Mother's Day weekend.
It is. It's going to be nice, too.
We have producer David Burbank in the studio. Nick Krasia running the board, picking all the tunes. The newest mom in the building is Katrina Gashard. She is out at the KIRO News Desk, keeping an eye on stories headed our way. Of course, we have Luke Ducey, who's our reporter today, and Frank Summerall over at the MyNorthwest.com news desk.
Oh, let's have a little fun. Mariners bounced back yesterday to win the rubber match against the Braves, thanks in part to Julio.
3-1, swung on, drilled, center field. This one's not coming back. It's in the pen. Gone, Julio! Monster solo home run.
Love it when they're monsters.
Yeah.
All right, day off today. They're going to start a 3-game set against the Chicago White Sox on the road tomorrow.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
All right, Sully, you have a very important choke point today.
Yeah, I do. Coming up, we're going to take a look at some really significant changes for drivers who use I-5 and 520 interchange, going under a rather interesting change this weekend that'll impact you starting Monday morning.
Okay, and we'll have Luke Ducey with the Tech Talk today. Deeper look into how Meta is using AI to make sure nobody under the age of 14 is using its platform.
It's now 6:10. The Tacoma City Council has approved a new resolution condemning federal immigration enforcement. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
The statement lists out what it calls, quote, the broader pattern of overzealous, unjust, and dangerous enforcement actions, end quote. Council members say they will continue to take action to support immigrants. Some also want to divest the city's employee retirement fund from the company that runs the Northwest Ice Processing Center.
The trucker accused of causing a big I-5 pileup in Lacey had been told to stay off the road weeks earlier. Como reports body camera video from November shows a state trooper pulling over 40-year-old Juan Hernandez Santos. He had no commercial license, no medical card, no logbook. The trooper gave him more than $1,000 in tickets and told him not to drive. Weeks later, troopers say he was back in that same truck when he slammed into a school bus and 4 other vehicles on I-5. Homeland Security says he was in the country illegally and had been deported twice before.
Seattle police say a quick-acting crime analyst and patrol officers helped catch an armed suspect after an attempted car prowl in Little Saigon. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
SPD says the incident happened Tuesday afternoon. The 32-year-old suspect was allegedly in the middle of a car prowl when he was confronted by the owner. Police say he pulled a knife before fleeing on foot, but Detective Eric Munoz says he didn't get far before a real-time crime center analyst spotted him on camera near 10th and South Jackson.
She relayed this information to the responding officers. With that information, the officers were able to locate the suspect.
The man was arrested on suspicion of felony burglary. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle's push for an NBA team taking another step forward. According to the Seattle Times, Samantha Holloway, the majority owner of the Kraken, has hired financial advisors to help shape a formal expansion bid. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has repeatedly said expansion is on the horizon.
It's 6:12. That's time for a check on the weather. And for that, we bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. Morning, Nick.
Good morning. I think we're going to see, for at least a little while today, some areas with sunshine. What you'll find is widespread low clouds again this morning, but the marine layer is not quite as thick in Seattle or Tacoma, so I think by about midday, those areas should see some sun, but then you also have some high clouds increasing later this afternoon, so it's not going to be widespread sunshine forever, but you see at least a little bit, so more than yesterday, which makes it warmer. But in the meantime, you have drizzle and mist if you're around, say, Snohomish County, Kitsap County. Those areas won't clear much today. So just, yes, some patchy areas with drizzle, some mist, staying in the low to mid 60s this afternoon. Tomorrow, I expect you're going to see a lot of clouds again, and even some isolated sprinkles or drizzle. Sprinkles and drizzle would be out to the coast, but even a few places inland might see a few, but that's all. Then I think some late day sun breaks. This weekend still looks nice. I think Saturday we're going to go with morning clouds, afternoon sun in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s, but it's the same idea. We can't just clear out for a sunny day. We have some high clouds coming in as well. And then for Mother's Day, a mix of partly to mostly cloudy and highs right around 70. So we just kind of have to hang around with either low clouds in the morning and some drizzle, or a little bit of clearing and then some high clouds. We don't really just get a clear day, but it still does look like it's nice the next couple days and better than yesterday's 57, which was, if I don't mind saying so myself, garbage.
It was. I was chilly all day yesterday.
We had track meets and stuff yesterday, and I got angry looks like you would not believe.
It's all your fault, you know.
And I said, my name is Chris Sullivan. Here's my address, my phone number.
Yeah, just imagine if they knew you were a meteorologist.
Nobody really thinks that's true anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Nick, we love you. Thank you. It's cloudy and 53 in Seattle right now.
Time to check traffic. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, we've got problems in the Pierce County area, kind of centered right around Tacoma. Let's start with northbound I-5 right at the Puyallup River Bridge, or just before it. We've got a military convoy, and it looks like one or two of the vehicles may have been kind of messed up a little. We're off to the right side, not blocking the right lane anymore, I believe at this point. I can't tell because there's a giant traffic sign in my way, and my camera's there, but either way, there's a backup that extends all the way back to Highway 16. So we're losing about 10 minutes through that corridor. Then you get a nice long drive through Fife, and then right around the county line, you hit the brakes again really hard, all the way up to just before 320th. That's where the HOV lane remains blocked for this crash, and we are looking at a 35 to 40 minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's 20 to 25 minutes behind schedule. So say you're in the University Place and you're trying to get to Federal Way, you'll probably have a 30-minute delay total going through both of those crash scenes. Once you get through that, Federal Way to Seattle's only 40 minutes. We're about 45 from Puyallup to Renton. The crash we had in Auburn is out of the way. Renton to Bellevue, a little slowing by SR 900, but 20 minutes on that trip, not bad. Little braking in Marysville, but nothing you can't handle. And then already over 40 from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So not a great day in Pierce County. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills this Memorial Day. Get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero interest financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, attention I-5 and Highway 520 drivers. Hope your merging skills are up to the task.
A major traffic shift will greet you Monday morning, and it'll take some getting used to, Sully.
Yeah, it will, because we've never done anything like this before with I-5 and 520.
Okay.
And if you are watching on our YouTube live feed, David's going to play some video I shot out there because it's one of those things it's going to be kind of visual to check out. And so what you're looking at here is basically the very far west end of 520, right there at I-5 where you get on. And so getting on eastbound 520 from either direction of I-5 hasn't really changed since the interchange was built. Northbound I-5 drivers end up in the right lane of eastbound 520. Southbound I-5 drivers end up in the left lane. That switches this weekend. Come Monday, northbound I-5 drivers are going to be on a new ramp that you can see on this video that's going to come down there on the far, what's going to be the left-hand side for the drivers, right-hand side if you're watching on video. And that will pop you onto 520 in the left lane.
If you follow the car in front of you and we stripe it properly, which we will, you'll just use a new ramp to get to eastbound 520. I think the bigger thing will be people coming from southbound I-5 will be coming as they normally will, and instead of having traffic on their right, they'll have traffic on their left.
WashDOT Steve Pierce says that will likely create a very new merging scenario for drivers who are wishing to get off at Montlake Boulevard. Northbound I-5 drivers will now have to merge into the right lane to do it. That's something they've never had to do before.
The people that are coming from northbound I-5 wanting to go to Montlake will have about a third of a mile to merge over. So we're encouraging people to zipper merge. Be kind to the other drivers, but you should have plenty of time to be able to get over.
Southbound I-5 drivers, though, will no longer have to merge because they'll now be in the right lane. Expect some confusion on Monday, and I know you're probably confused right now,
already.
even looking at the video. But this is a really significant shift and something drivers are going to have to be prepared for. So why is WashDOT doing this?
We need to create a work zone in these lanes because we're building a lid over 520, and we need work room.
To prep for this traffic change, WashDOT will be closing eastbound 520 all weekend from late Friday night to early Monday morning, all the way from I-5 across to the east side. Pierce says, got a lot to do.
To not only shut down this old ramp, but also to open the new ramp. There's still some finishing touches that need to happen. You can see there's some paving, lots of striping. From I-5, essentially eastbound all the way to Montlake. New striping that'll make sure people are right in their own lane.
This new this new lane configuration expected to last for about 2 years as contractors build the 2.5-acre lid over the road and add HOV lanes from Montlake up to I-5. This, of course, all part of the final phase of widening 520 and building the new bridge over the lake. Contractors already building the new bridges over Portage Bay. You can see those. By the way, work expected to wrap up on this in 2030 or 2031, depending on how they get it done.
When was I out on the bridge? I was at a different station back then. You and I were both out on this bridge as they were getting this project started. How long ago was that? Like 10,
15?
12?
Yeah. It'll be, because if you think about it, it started with all the widening there on the east side going, through Medina and working your way over to 405. And then they started with the bridge building to go across the floating bridge, and they had to add the spot through Foster Island to Montlake. Now they're doing the final section, the final mile or so to get from Montlake. So it's going to be a 2-decade project.
I could tell, we didn't know each other back then, but you were looking at me wearing that hard hat, and you were really thinking, that doesn't fit.
Well, that's one of the many things I thought of before I knew you when we were at opposite stations. But no, there's a lot going on here, and I know it's hard to explain. But just imagine, just know that if you're going northbound, I'll try to explain as best I can. If you're going northbound on I-5, you're going to get off on a new ramp. That ramp is going to take you up and over the southbound ramp that comes through, and you're going to appear on that new ramp, but you're going to be on the left side of eastbound 520. You'll get it the first time you do it.
Yeah.
But southbound drivers coming out of that little tunnel there under I-5 are going to be like, hey, where did you guys come from? Because they're used to I-5 traffic coming in from the right. It's now going to be on the left.
Weird.
And so, drive it Monday morning. You'll get it.
But
it'll
prepared.
take a couple of times. And then the merging is going to be interesting because, you don't have a lot of time to get down into Montlake. And when there are a lot of people getting off at Montlake, about 15,000 a day, it's going to take some time.
The real news here is this is great news for me on one of my other commutes.
That's what matters.
Yes, yeah. I go from I-5 South onto 520 to get off at Montlake, and it's going to make it a lot easier for me because I won't have to merge.
Yeah,
so
you'll already be in your own lane.
Yes,
you'll be in the right lane.
I'm excited.
Good
one of the
news
few,
for
probably.
WashDOT is back on David's Christmas card list.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have more on this on My Northwest?
Yep. Oh, yeah. The video's there, good explainer and whatnot, plus a bunch of maps and things. And again, don't forget, eastbound 520 closed this weekend from I-5 all the way across the lake.
Okay. Calling customer service can be a hassle, even for one of the most famous people in the world. Here's Tony DeCopel from CBS News.
Pope Leo, living one of the most exceptional lives on the planet. He now serves 1 billion Catholics as leader of the church and the entire world as a messenger of peace. And yet, not even he can avoid frustrating dealings with customer service. In a story told recently by Father Tom McCarthy, an old friend of the Pope's from Illinois, the Pope had to call his bank to update the address and phone number on file. But the bank said they were unable to do it over the phone. And I'll let Father McCarthy take it from here.
She asks all the security questions, and then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. It says here you have to come in person." And he said, "Well, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Would it matter to you if I told you I'm Pope Leo?" She hung up on him.
The Pope did eventually get a message to the bank president, we're told, and the file was updated. But think of the real miracle here. The next time you're on with customer service and getting absolutely nowhere, you're not alone. The Pope is there with you.
What if I told you I'm the Pope? Click. That's so funny.
Yeah, great story. 6:23 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
Yeah, a little positive news for those of you stuck in this backup coming up the Fife Hill to Highway 18. The crash near 320th that we've been dealing with for the better part of an hour has cleared. The HOV lane now open. All lanes have reopened, but we still have about a 30-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. Right lane remains blocked, as does the exit there at Portland Ave, a little bit further to the south through Tacoma because of this. I'm not sure what we're dealing with, but my best guess is there's a big military convoy going by, a bunch of trucks there, and I think maybe one of them may have conked out, so they were all stopping by so they stay in formation. But the right lane is blocked, and we're losing about 10 minutes through that corridor, so you have to add that to the drive getting up to Federal Way, plus Olympia to Tacoma now running about 40 minutes, so that's about a 5 to 8 minute delay through Tacoma itself. Once you get through that, Federal Way to Seattle is not too bad. It's running right around 40 minutes, about 45 up the Valley Freeway, no problems there. Renton to Bellevue, we've got about a 20-minute trip. S-curves are active, but not overly so. A little bit in Marysville, haven't found any reasons other than weaving and merging past 529, so maybe a minute or two lost there. And 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Cloudy today. We'll have highs in the low 60s. Right now in Seattle, it's 50.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey looks at the arrest of a teenager in Seattle for assaulting a woman with a knife. We'll also get to your opening bell report next on Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. I was busy yesterday evening getting everything out of the spare bedroom / office. That's because today, Closets by Design is stopping by and giving that room a glow up. We're getting a wall bed installed along with a desk. So when I'm recording stuff at home for Seattle's Morning News, I can do it much more easily right there. Everything is organized. Now, you hear Closets by Design, and you might not think of what else they do. They do laundry rooms, home offices, entertainment centers, mud rooms, everything. And it's all custom built in Kent. They send a designer to your place. She stopped by, and it was a real interesting process. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother. Less clutter, less frustration. Everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, 40% off, plus an additional 15% off. 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown! Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Gas prices keep climbing, but the cost to drive doesn't have to. Subaru of Puyallup has a wonderful selection of fuel-efficient models, from the all-electric Solterra to hybrid options. With stress-free pricing and all-wheel drive confidence, SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling, with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. An 18-year-old is behind bars after trying to attack people at a park with a knife and a weapon that looks something like something out of medieval times.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a look at those weapons. Luke?
Yeah, check these out on our YouTube feed. You got to be on our YouTube feed to see them. I'll post them later as well. I'll describe them for our listeners. So there's the knife you can see right there. Pretty nasty looking. It's a 6-inch blade. But that other weapon, that other photo called a flail, I had to look this up. I think we all know it. It's kind of like a ball and chain in medieval times, you know. You see a knight swinging something like that around. But the ball in this case is a metal, I think it's like an anchor pin for hoisting things. It has several sharp bolts sticking out of it, and the whole thing is rusted out. That is pretty nasty. Imagine that being swung around at you. Well, a couple of days ago, police say the suspect in this case walked into Hing Park, which is in the Chinatown International District. He started asking people for fentanyl, and they said, we don't have any. And they told him to get out of the park, so he did. But he came back with those weapons in hand, Seattle police say, and tried to stab several people, swinging the knife at them. And then he said, or the police said that he walked up to a 27-year-old woman and tried to hit her with that homemade flail, like swinging it around. Investigators say he also tried to attack the same woman a few days earlier at 3rd and Yesler, which is like several blocks away from Hing. He was arrested on suspicion of assault. He is now inside the King County Jail.
Okay, and we have
Pretty
pictures
scary.
up on My Northwest.
I'm going to get
as well?
them up right after this for
Okay.
our listeners, but that's scary stuff.
It is. 6:32 now here on Seattle's Morning News.
Kirkland police have arrested 2 people for promoting prostitution.
On Tuesday, Kirkland police and other agencies served warrants at 3 businesses as part of a human trafficking investigation. Police say they'd received multiple complaints about suspicious activity at one location and believe it was used as a front for prostitution. The warrants were served simultaneously. 2 arrests were made. The nonprofit group The More We Love was on scene to support potential victims of human trafficking. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
And we'll be interviewing The More We Love. That interview will air on Monday morning. It's 6:33 now. Time to check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
And a little good news, a little bad news. I'll start with the good first, where we've picked up 10 minutes on the drive from Tacoma on up through Federal Way. Now the crash at 320th has cleared and all the lanes have reopened. Bad news is we still have about a 10 or 12 minute delay getting through Tacoma because of this crash involving a military convoy. And our friend Nate, who's out there, saw it and says one of the convoy didn't just conk out. At least one civilian car caught up in this, and all the rest of the rigs are just sitting there on this shoulder waiting for this to clear up so they can continue on with their trip as a convoy. But we have the right lane and the exit to Portland Ave blocked at this point because of this, and a ton of distraction. Obviously, whenever you have large military rigs on the side of the road, you're going to stop and take a look. We've got 45 minutes from Tacoma up into Olympia into Tacoma, so that's probably 15 minutes over what you might expect. A lot of people have bailed and headed over to 512. It's really heavy through Puyallup now. And then you've got 45 minutes, Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue, the S-curve is very active now. We're getting closer to a half an hour to make that drive to Bellevue. Coming down from the north end, very slow through Marysville today. I haven't found a reason. I'm looking. But you've got about 25 minutes from Arlington to Everett. Westbound across the Trestle, also very heavy today. Don't see a crash like we had there yesterday, but still relatively heavy. And then 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss 8 fireworks nights this season. Presented by T-Mobile. First show May 29th. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
And our forecast, same deal. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies for today, but some sun breaks. Highs will be in the mid-60s today. And tomorrow, same deal. For Saturday, we'll warm up to the low 70s. Should see more in the way of sunshine by the afternoon. Sunday, Mother's Day, mix of clouds and sunshine. More clouds than sunshine, but still. 69 is the high on Sunday. Right now, it's cloudy and 53 in Seattle.
At 6:35 is the opening bell report. A combination of strong earnings and falling oil prices yesterday pushed Wall Street deeper into record territory.
Market optimism for a potential U.S.-Iran peace deal sent U.S. crude futures plunging back below $100, and stocks received an additional tailwind from stronger than expected first quarter earnings from AI chipmaker AMD, Disney, Uber, and CVS Health. Payroll processor ADP also reported a better-than-expected private sector jobs gain of 109,000 in April. The Dow rallied higher by 612 points to 49,910. The Nasdaq surged 512 points to 25,839, and the S&P rose 106 points to 7365. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
More homes, slower sales. KIRO Newsradio's Aaron Granillo looks at our housing market as it enters peak season.
The latest data from the Northwest MLS show active listings jumped more than 28% from a year ago.
Volume of transactions is still down.
Anton Alexander is a Seattle broker with Compass Real Estate and says homes are still selling if they're priced right.
The listings I'm watching sit are not sitting because of the economy. They're sitting because the opening price didn't match the market's current temperature.
Alexander says many buyers are simply sitting out due to several factors, including interest rates and fears over inflation or layoffs. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
The burger business is booming. Here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Next time someone asks you if you want your burger with crispy onions or slivered ones, if you prefer 2 juicy quarter-pound patties or 3 slices of cheese, just say yes.
McDonald's has top sales estimates in the first quarter thanks to its new Big Arch Burger. Revenue rose 9%. Analysts had expected just 3.7. The 1,600-calorie mouthful went viral after a post from CEO Chris Kempczinski taking a teensy tiny bite.
Holy cow. God, that is a big burger.
Other restaurant chains, including Domino's and Chipotle, have reported sales softening since the Iran war began. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
One county in California is paying more than everyone else in the country for a gallon of gas.
AAA says the average price for a gallon of gas in Mono County is over $7 a gallon. This man is driving a diesel through western states and says he's avoiding that price by staying prepared.
I carry fuel containers, 5-gallon containers, several of them. I fill them up where it's the cheapest.
Drivers in many states say they are trying to travel less for groceries to save some money. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
And in Washington, the current average for a gallon of gas is $5.76 a gallon. Here in the Seattle area, though, is $5.96. Diesel, the average in the Seattle area, by the way, $7.03.
Ouch. After having the east wing of the White House torn down, President Trump has said its replacement, a ballroom, would be entirely funded by private donations. Well, we've told you Republicans are now requesting about $1 billion in taxpayer money for heightened security on the ballroom after a third assassination attempt last month. CBS News White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has the update.
Trump has long insisted the ballroom would be free for taxpayers.
I'm paying for it. The country's not, and that's an expensive ballroom.
The bill does say that none of the funds may be used for non-security elements of the project. But Democrats argue that's irrelevant since the plans call for a drone-proof roof and 6-inch thick glass windows.
On Wall Street right now, we are seeing the markets up ever so slightly. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is ahead by 51 points right now. The S&P 500 up by 4 points, and the NASDAQ has gained 61.
Nearly everything you buy at the airport is marked up. But did you know there's supposed to be a limit on those price hikes? KIRO 7's Madeline Audley spent weeks investigating stores at SeaTac Airport to find the most overcharged items and the one item you can buy that's actually cheaper. Tonight at 5:30, only on KIRO 7 TV.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, I got about a 2-mile backup on northbound I-5 getting into and through Tacoma. Crash involving a military convoy. We'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
A comment from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is suddenly getting fresh attention.
Claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are super overblown.
Seattle's new mayor can't seem to wave this one off.
You know, the ones that leave, bye.
Arrogance is the word. Exclusively action at mynorthwest.com.
When you're a leader, you also have to be there for the people that didn't vote for you.
And the conversation continues on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, May 13th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Dr. Wagner, what joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Join his free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, May 13th. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Olympic has the perfect way to celebrate spring. A hot tub, swim spa, or sauna at home to take better care of you and your family. Through May 10th, you'll save thousands on the perfect wellness solution for your home. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
6:43. Let's check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Well, we've got about a 2.5 mile backup now on northbound I-5, trying to make your way into and through Tacoma. A crash involving a military convoy. At least one of the rigs got caught up with a civilian car, and we're dealing with the right lane being blocked and the exit lane being blocked right there at Portland Ave. They're right through Tacoma, right before you get to the Puyallup River Bridge. And we're backed up kind of around the corner now. 16 eastbound definitely caught up in this as well, because you're driving right into the lane closure. So expect some significant delays there. We've got 45 minutes from Olympia into Tacoma. And then about 25 minutes from Tacoma up through Federal Way. So overall, that's probably a 15 to 20-minute delay. And then Federal Way to Seattle is running right around 45. 45 is also what we have from Puyallup to Renton, but getting there might be a little difficult. We have a lot of people diverting from I-5 to get around that crash in Tacoma, and so eastbound 512 is heavier than you might expect, trying to just get down to the Valley Freeway. Once you're through there, you've got about a half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. The lake bridges are still in fine shape. Looks like I'm going to blame it on a little bit of weather up in the Marysville area. We have some showers kind of camped over the top of I-5. Nothing super significant, but enough to leave some drops on the road and on my cameras, and so that's why we're a little slow getting through the Marysville area. Not only do we have the weaving and merging there, you add a little bit of weather, and that always adds a couple of minutes. And then you've got 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Definitely seeing the brake lights in the usual places there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, it's going to be a mix of clouds and sun, heavier on the clouds for today. 65 for today and tomorrow. And then on Saturday, it looks a little bit nicer. We'll see early clouds, but then sunshine by afternoon, warming up to the low 70s. For Sunday, around 70, with, again, more clouds than sun. But there will be some sun breaks. Right now, cloudy and 53 in Seattle.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with today's Tech Talk. A look at how Meta is using AI to monitor whether users are lying about their age. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
It's 6:47 now. Today's Tech Talk. A lot of kids these days, they lie about their age in order to create social media accounts.
Well, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports Meta now says they're trying to block underage users once and for all on Instagram and Facebook using AI.
Can social media really tell if you're a teenager or just pretending to be one? Jennifer Hanley, head of safety policy for Meta, tells me now they can.
We're able to look at a whole variety of different signals so that we can help detect underage accounts.
Meta is incorporating AI to detect underage users who might lie and claim they're older than 13 so they can use platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
So now what we're able to do is look at profiles, but also things like Instagram Live and Reels, Facebook groups, things like comments and captions and bios.
And Meta can collect all those pieces within seconds, along with other visual pieces to put that age puzzle together.
We're not recognizing you with your facial recognition. We're looking for signals that someone's, bone structure or height might indicate that they're a child and not an adult, for example. So they, might be misrepresenting that they're an adult, but actually be someone who's like 10 or 11. We're trying to find those accounts so that we can deactivate them.
However, collecting all that data raises flags for Suzanne Bernstein with the Electronic Privacy Information Center.
All the information that we post or that we provide to Meta using these platforms, we don't have much control over how that information is used, and we don't have as many privacy protections as you might think.
Meta's rollout also comes as Meta faces intense legal scrutiny over child safety. In March, a jury in New Mexico found Meta liable for failing to protect children from exploitation online. In California, a separate jury found Meta and YouTube responsible for features that allegedly contributed to addiction and mental health harm among young users. I recently talked with the lead attorney in that case, Matt Bergman, who's based right here in Seattle.
Anyone who has kids experiences the consequences of social media addiction, and some of the parents experience very horrific consequences.
Meta declined to comment on those cases, and they are appealing. When I asked Hanley, what is Meta's responsibility when it comes to child safety, she told me safety is an industry-wide issue.
We're one company. There are so many different platforms out there that teens use.
And Meta said it's time for federal regulation.
Passing legislation that allows for age verification and parental approval at the App Store level. We do feel a strong responsibility. We're very committed to doing this. That's why we have been investing in tools and resources and safety for, more than a decade.
So in addition to protecting kids, Meta is also reacting here possibly to pressure from overseas and trying to get ahead of legislation here in the U.S. There are 19 different countries around the world that have laws now that regulate social media for children, including 12 in Europe. Meta is asking federal lawmakers to regulate at the app level. So when you're downloading that app, kids will have to register or do something like that, like they do in Brazil perhaps, and also parents as well. A lot of state lawmakers, though, are looking beyond just the app level because kids interact with tech in different ways. What about when you set up a device or you go to a website or you'd have to turn off a default setting? And also, what about attaching something to a teenager's device that kind of follows them everywhere they go online, including apps? Those things are all being talked about right now. There's no easy answer, but certainly tech companies like Meta have they really want that app level because they have more control there.
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old. It scares me.
Yeah. It seems to me we've had these conversations for the past 20 years, ever since, MySpace and the first generation social media came online. And it just strikes me they haven't done anything.
No, not here. Not here in our country, but in other countries, they have really strict, many of these countries, you cannot, if you're 14, 15, and 16, they have different thresholds, but you cannot download and interact on social media platforms.
Is this just purely a money thing? Is it a liability thing? What are you hearing?
A little bit of that. I think there's a lot of lobbying power as well, but I think also lawmakers, and you hear this time and time again, they just don't know anything about tech, and they don't have staff maybe who do either, and they're just behind. We're just behind on a lot of this.
Okay, so this is perhaps the United States not being a leader in something and allowing the rest of the world to do it before we do.
Maybe, but these lawsuits are also being kind of called the big tobacco moment for tech, so that might push the needle even further.
All right. Luke Ducey, thank you. It's 6:52.
Well, the World Video Game Hall of Fame will announce its class of 2026 today.
The 12 finalists include Frogger, where you had to get a frog across a 5-lane highway; Galaga, the arcade space shooter game; FIFA International Soccer, the most popular sports game franchise of all time; and Angry Birds, the 2009 hit seemingly everyone had on their first smartphones. The new inductees will join the 49 games already enshrined in the World Video Game Hall of Fame, which is in Rochester, New York. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Angry Birds was 2009?
Yeah, okay. I mean, it was only 17 years ago.
17 years ago?
Yeah.
It was like yesterday.
I was thinking,
I feel like the Hall of Fame should be here in Seattle, as we're like a hub of a lot of those video game classics.
Yeah, we just need to write our list of grievances with this. The announcement, by the way, 7:30 this morning, local time. So
Go Frogger.
6:53.
Oh, you have such a
Sully.
stern look on your face, Sully.
I'm sure pole position is already in there.
How is it? It is criminal that Frogger and Galaga are not already in.
Yeah.
Those are first ballot Hall of Famers, no doubt.
I'm with you.
I mean, without Frogger, there's nothing.
Well,
I mean,
says
seriously.
the traffic guy.
You're in my camp. I loved Frogger.
Come on. And Galaga, who didn't get their ship confiscated just so you could fire two at the same time. Come on. That's worse than Billy Idol. Let's go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
How's the drive, Sully?
Oh, man, this is frustrating. Well, people, if they acted like Frogger, they'd have a little bit of room on northbound I-5 because it is bumper to bumper for about 2.5 miles from a 38th all the way through downtown to the Puyallup River Bridge. Crash, at least one civilian car caught up with a military convoy crash there, and so the right lane remains blocked, and we're bumper to bumper, as I said, from 38th, also impacting eastbound 16. You're going to need at least 15 minutes to clear this crash scene. Once you do, you're going to have about a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 45 minutes. 45 as well, up the Valley Freeway. Rented to Bellevue's about a half an hour. We do have a little light showers running through the Marysville area. That's why we're seeing a little bit of braking there. Give yourself 30 minutes from Arlington to Everett, and then close to an hour from Everett to Bellevue, 55 minutes Everett to Seattle. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
We expect to have clouds today, maybe a sprinkle or two, highs in the low 60s. Cloudy and 50 right now in Seattle.
And coming up, Patrick DeHaan joins us, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
The G and Ursula Show.
This was an incredible weekend.
That sun was peaking and speaking.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
I messed up though, Ursula, last night.
What happened?
I didn't turn the ACs on, woke up around 12 a.m. Then I was looking for like a new pillowcase because we got the winter ones on still. And so I had to go in another room and grab another pillow.
You weren't ready for the summer temperatures.
No.
On KIRO News Radio. Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
A rising blast, left field,
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
Some people out there love to do things entirely on their own. Others ask for help and trust their resources. When involved in an auto accident, you've got the choice of dealing with insurance on your own or hiring an attorney. I'm joined in studio by Harold D. Carr. He represents Harold Carr Law Offices. Harold, what's one of the main reasons for seeking representation?
If you were to look at statistics, most people end up with a lot less recovery when they don't have a law firm representing them.
And why should they hire Harold Carr Law Offices?
We're not shy about bringing lawsuits. We do try to settle, and insurance companies know that. They know that we're fair in how we talk to them. The answer is really, we are very professional. But we've had cases, big and small, where we've had to take it into litigation, and about 98% of those will settle in mediation. A lot more than the client originally expected.
Visit carlaw.com. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Right now, get a free furnace with the purchase of a premium heat pump and air cleaning package at CM Heating. Start today with an always free estimate. There's no beating CM Heating for heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical. Go to cmheating.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An update on the cruise ship hit with a hantavirus outbreak from the head of the World Health Organization.
Given the incubation period of the Andes virus, which can be up to 6 weeks, it's possible that more cases may be reported.
Tedros Ghebreyesus says 5 cases have been confirmed so far, 8 suspected, and 3 people have died.
While this is a serious incident, WHO assesses the public health risk as low.
The WHO says 2,500 test kits have been shipped from labs in Argentina to 5 different countries. The ship is still making its way to port in Spain's Canary Islands with 140 people on board, among them 17 Americans. Secretary of State Rubio's finished up talks with Pope Leo, who's clashed with President Trump over the Iran war. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Rubio, a practicing Catholic, met first with the Pope and then with the Vatican Secretary of State. The State Department says they discussed efforts to achieve a durable peace in the Middle East and the enduring partnership between the U.S. and the Holy See. The Vatican says Washington requested the audience, and the Pope has been open to continued dialogue. Rubio is also meeting with Italian officials who have come out strongly against President Trump's attacks on Pope Leo and have called the Iran war illegal.
Officials in Mississippi say a tornado cluster last night damaged almost 500 homes, injured at least 17 people, and left many without power.
Several people were hurt, some seriously, when confirmed tornadoes swept across southern areas of Mississippi and Alabama. Randy Radcliffe lives in a hard-hit area outside of Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
And then all of a sudden I heard popping, it sounded like a train coming, and that's when it come through. I heard trees popping and stuff.
There's a threat of more severe weather today from coastal Alabama to the coastal Carolinas. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
New analysis finds a limited number of patients are are seeing major savings from President Trump's new drug pricing. KFF's Elizabeth Rosenthal.
Prices are going up for everything. We talked to a data firm called 46 Brooklyn, and they found that in January, the prices of 1,000 drugs had gone up.
Hopes of a massive tourism boom in the Bay Area are a bust so far. The Economic Council's Jeff Belisario reports hotels are seeing softer than expected bookings, thanks to higher travel costs and tensions over the war.
It's not really like a Super Bowl in all these cities. It's a big event. People will come in, but I don't think it's going to be the massive driver of economic activity that we had really thought.
Gas at $4.56 a gallon. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning. This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
It's 7:03 on a Thursday morning. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. Here's Chris Sullivan with our traffic on the 3s.
And with an eagle eye on the map, the last 10 minutes, we can say we've got about a 3-mile backup on northbound I-5 as we make our way from about 38th in South Tacoma up through this crash that we have involving a military convoy right there before the Puyallup River Bridge. You're going to need about 45 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, and all of that 15-minute delay is just right there. Once you get through that, it's going to be a pretty clean drive the rest of the way. That's because everyone's trapped in that corridor. Federal Way to Seattle's running about 45. Also, eastbound 16 caught up into this, as you might imagine, but not as bad as it could be. But we don't normally start seeing the lion's share of the commute coming down from, say, Gig Harbor across the Narrows for about another 35 minutes or so. So hoping this will clear out before that starts to move in. A lot of people have bailed, headed over to 512, so that's why it's a little heavy through the South Hill. But other than that, not bad. And then Puyallup to Renton, about 45, 48 minutes. Manageable. Under a half an hour from Renton to Bellevue. Lake Bridges still good. Coming down from the north end, definitely seeing a lot of braking through Marysville. Haven't found any crashes. I'm blaming this one on some light showers that we have over the area there. So give yourself 30 minutes, Arlington to Everett, and then an hour from Everett to Bellevue, 55, Everett to Seattle. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Feel the freedom of lower energy bills this Memorial Day. Get $525 off every window, $1,000 off every door, plus 12 months zero interest financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning, 7:05. Seattle City Council pushing forward with legislation to expand the size of temporary shelters for the homeless.
The bill passed a committee with 4 amendments, but it was an amendment that was removed at the last second that might make critics mad.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, so if this passes the full council, this bill will expand the size of temporary shelters around the city by 50%. So any location hosting like tiny homes, RVs, or tents can now grow from 100 residents to 150 residents. But there was an amendment being considered that would have placed zone restrictions for shelter expansion, creating buffers near schools. That was removed at the last second. For many nonprofits like Anitra Freeman with ShareWheel, she told City Council amendments to the bill would restrict how they could help the homeless.
It resembles the organization of a prison more than of a shelter.
Yeah, the amendments that passed, though, include these. 2 that require sites with more than 100 beds to have a public safety plan and to be staffed 24/7. Another requires shelters have an agreement with nearby neighborhoods around expectations of behavior. And the last one mandates that you have to have 1 manager for every 15 residents with high needs.
In all your legislation, trust experienced providers more. Act on reason and compassion, not fear.
Back to that buffer zone within that context that was rejected. So it could be reintroduced in the future in a different way that would require notification to nearby schools that, hey, we're building a homeless encampment here. Some council members worried that their hands are tied a bit around creating those buffer zones because they have to follow a new state law that requires cities to allow more shelter in neighborhoods. This will go to a full vote at the full council sometime next month.
So I'm clear, no buffer zone. So this could, theoretically be right up against a neighborhood, next to a school, stuff like that.
Yes, in a park. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
7:07 on Seattle's Morning News.
Tacoma police are investigating after the cremated remains of an 11-year-old boy were stolen during a car break-in. A Brielle Priest says her brother's ashes were in a suitcase in the back of her car, and KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu spoke with her.
She's urging anyone who recognizes the thief to come forward and had this message to the man responsible.
We can make it easy. We can make it hard. One way or I promise you, hand on the Bible, hand on everything I love, on my brother's life, I'm going to get him back.
Tacoma police confirmed they're investigating, but a spokesperson said she wasn't aware of any other thefts involving that same suspect.
A state trooper warned the trucker behind a big I-5 pileup in Lacey to stay off the road weeks before the crash. Como reports body camera video from November shows the trooper telling 40-year-old Juan Hernandez Santos he had no commercial license and no medical card. You can't drive, the trooper told him. Hernandez Santos was issued more than $1,000 in tickets, but was allowed to leave with his truck. Weeks later, troopers say he plowed that same semi into a school bus and 4 other vehicles during the morning commute. Homeland Security says he was in the country illegally and had been deported twice before.
More homes, fewer sales. That's the latest snapshot of the Puget Sound housing market as we enter the peak season. Anton Alexander is a broker with Compass Real Estate in Seattle. He says layoffs and inflation fears are keeping a lot of buyers on the sidelines.
There is fear of things kind of spiraling into, hey, is this actually going to turn into a crisis? So far, we have not seen that in any of the numbers that we watch or what's actually happening on the ground.
Inventory across the region is up more than 28% from a year ago with more than 18,500 listings. That's the highest level in about 15 years. Alexander says pending sales data is ticking up, a sign the market is improving despite the headwinds.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning. It is 7:09 on your Thursday. It's the 7th of May already.
Little yacht rock to get you started this morning.
Love it.
You got any big Mother's Day plans, Manda?
I am going to relax on Camano Island.
I think that's a fabulous plan.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy that.
And, of course, have everyone wait on me.
Okay. Will David and Sully be coming over just to bring you some waffles?
I've got my own several mothers in my life to wait on him.
I'll be hitting golf balls at you from Whidbey Island. From try to get it all the way across from Whidbey to Camano.
Have you told Tommy, hey man, you need to go out and buy your mom some cards and maybe some flowers, stuff like that?
What do you think? He's a 24-year-old dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. I was like, when I reminded him, he's like, oh, I'm on it. I'm like, okay. A little while ago, might have taken a little bit. Now that he's getting to that 23, 24, 24,
yeah.
You start getting it.
Okay. All right. Hey,
it starts clicking as a dude.
Lily is 17. She's already purchased something for her mom. So nice. Sam's another story, but we'll get into that later.
Double his age, and he'll be about the time he'll start getting it.
Well, we have a busy hour in front of us. We're going to check in again with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy. With oil prices going down a bit this week, gas prices continue to go up. Patrick helps sort it all out.
What's coming up in the 735 commentary?
Why aren't some people taking allegations against a King County official seriously? And my idea what needs to be done. That's coming up at 7:35.
It's 7:10 right now. A parked van went up in flames and exploded right outside the Everett Police South Precinct. Now a man is in jail facing an arson charge. This woman lives in the apartment complex nearby.
Kept hearing stuff go off, and so I was worried that there's, a bomb or something.
KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss has more from the scene of Tuesday night's explosion.
Piles of ashes and a burn area spread across 4 or 5 parking spaces here, along with some blackened landscaping. Well, Everett PD says the man drove a van into the parking lot. An officer suddenly saw the van explode into flames, and then a man started walking towards the officer, who promptly took that man into custody. The Everett Fire Department took care of the van fire.
No one was hurt. No clear motive.
Didn't know this was needed, but apparently it was. The Legally Blonde movie franchise is out with a new prequel series that takes place in Seattle. As it turns out, the main character, Elle Woods, spent her high school days here.
We're moving to Seattle. How long will that be?
A couple of years.
That's my whole life. Hey.
New series rewinds to 1995 when grunge ruled this city and Elle's pink wardrobe did not fit in. Elle Premieres July 1st on Prime Video. You can watch the trailer over on mynorthwest.com.
You know you want to see it.
Yeah. I've actually seen Legally Blonde. So what about you, Sully?
No.
See, I caught part of it.
Yeah, all right. Which is enough. Because
I think I caught the trial scene at the very end.
Got it.
When
Okay.
she turned everybody's heads upside down.
Of course.
All right, 7:12, time for a check on the forecast for that. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard is with us. Nick?
Well, right now it's cloudy again, but I can tell you it's not as cloudy, meaning we have some breaks in the clouds, which is nice, and those breaks in the clouds are going to give us a little more sunshine today. The only problem is we're also going to see increasing afternoon clouds, so just know that we'll see kind of a mix today with more clouds early, then a little bit of sun developing, and then more clouds again in the 60s. So we'll look for highs in the mid-60s today, which is still warmer than yesterday, which is only in the upper 50s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe a sprinkle or two, but the real change comes this weekend with sunshine on the way for Saturday afternoon. But it's like today. You have clouds in the morning, you see a little sun, and then again, clouds increase one more time. And then Mother's Day, partly to mostly cloudy, still nice for sure, right around 70 with more sunshine and warmer weather for next week. So at least we're going to see temperatures out of the 50s today because to that yesterday.
Is that the meteorological term? Blah?
Yes, and I don't expect you to use that until you have my certified approval, but after that, you totally can.
We'll get the seal.
It was a little chilly. All right.
Takes a little time. Yep.
Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 53.
7:13. Time to check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
We are struggling in the Tacoma area, continue to do so. We've got a crash still blocking the right-hand side of the road right before you get to the Puyallup River Bridge, and plus it's about a 7 to 8 military rig convoy that's kind of caught up in this. One of the rigs tied it up with a commercial or just a civilian car, and all the rest of the trucks are just sitting there waiting in the convoy as they do. So there's a lot to look at. About a 2.5 mile backup behind it, 15-minute delay. The good news is if you're, say, on 16 or on northbound 5 going into the CD lanes to get into Tacoma, you're going to be okay because you're going to bypass this. But if you're in the main line, that's where we have the bigger issue. A lot of people have bailed, gone over to the Valley Freeway, and so to get there, we're seeing heavy brake lights down the South Hill into Puyallup. And then Puyallup to Renton running right around 50 now. Those last couple of miles from before 180th on in, really slow now, getting close to 30 minutes out of Auburn alone. Over 30 from Renton to Bellevue. Well, my drivers are reporting that we do have a crash on eastbound 18 before you get to the Tiger Mountain Summit in the left-hand lane. We're backed up towards the Issaquah-Hobart Road, so I'm trying to get a little bit more confirmation in what we're dealing with there from the Department of Transportation. Light rain in the Marysville area has added about 10 minutes to our trip from Arlington down into Everett, and then you have about an hour drive from Everett to Bellevue, 55 minutes Everett to Seattle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news, always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
7:15 now. The Trump administration says the ball is in Iran's court when it comes to approving a peace plan that would end fighting between the two countries. News Nation's Joel Khalil is in Doha and reports Iran is calling this latest proposal a U.S. wish list.
Once again, the U.S. is waiting on Iran to respond to a deal that would end the war. The U.S. has given Iran until Friday to respond to the latest one-page memo that is on the table. We can report it's a 14-point peace plan that, among other things, would include Iran pausing its efforts to enrich uranium, which would allow them to build a nuclear weapon. It would demand that Iran reopen the Strait of Hormuz. There would be no more military action. And Iran would get sanctions relief and possibly frozen assets unfrozen. This is what President Trump said from the White House about the prospect that this could be a real end to this war.
Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
Here in the Gulf states, there is serious apprehension about the situation. Qatari leaders who spoke with President Trump this week urged the president to get back as quickly as possible to the negotiating table and try to end the war as fast as he can. In the UAE, schools and work have already gone remote for the entire week out of fear because of the recent Iranian missile strikes there. Nobody there wants to see a continuation of the war as their economies, their jobs, their lives have been disrupted. So they too are watching very closely. But sources there tell me that they don't buy any of the reporting. They're not satisfied till they actually see a deal getting done. And NBC even reported this week that Saudi Arabia did not allow the United States to use its bases during Project Freedom out of fear that it would become a target and that Iranian missiles could land on Saudi targets as well. So far, there's been mixed messaging from Iranian officials publicly about their reception of the deal that's on the table, but that doesn't always tell us the full story, as we know there is still a lot behind the scenes that happens in these diplomatic talks. In Doha, Joe Khalil, News Nation.
As the Iran war continues, the price of gas continues to soar. In our state now, it's nearing $5.80. Once again surpassing the previous record for the highest ever price at the pump in Washington.
Let's check in now with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. Patrick, we're seeing you everywhere. I'm listening to the newscasts. I'm watching all the cable channels. You are really on top of this. We appreciate you joining us for a couple moments today. Just give us a big picture. First of all, we see the price of a barrel of oil going down, but the price of our gas going up.
Yeah, we certainly are seeing that this morning. Looking at fresh data here, another new record high for Seattle, $5.94 a gallon. Yeah, we continue to try to rival California across the state. California, by the way, is $6.16, so you're a little bit behind here, but you may not catch up. As you mentioned, the price of oil down for a second straight day. This may eventually, here towards the weekend, stop the increases, and the train could start gaining momentum going the other way, at least for now. Obviously, we've seen a couple of these instances, right, where the administration's close to a deal. But what's different is the president trying to make a deal, but at the same time also forewarning of new potential tax if the deal doesn't occur, if Iran doesn't accept. So, temporarily we may get a little lower over the weekend. And the next chapter is going to be written by what is happening here right now between the U.S. and Iran. Whether or not a deal will emerge, hard to know. But if it does, the market is looking at promise right now and oil lower. But depending on what happens is going to dictate where we go next after a little bit of relief here in the days ahead.
$5.94? Is that what you said?
$5.94 for regular, and diesel, as I look at it here this morning, even higher if my chart would load. Probably not loading because prices are just too high to keep track of now. The chart has to rewrite itself. So
let's talk about the Strait. The U.S. had been trying to escort ships along that oil vessel passage. They ended those attempts. How does that play into all this?
Yeah, it's an interesting development, that President Trump had said, well, we're going to stop. And I think he cited negotiations with Iran. So, that's the interesting dynamic here is maybe that is the first olive branch to Iran, the sign that the U.S. might be serious. That you never know if Iran is saying, well, before we start sitting down, this is what our demands are. So it might have been in response to something Iran asked for. And I think that's why oil markets reacted to that, because it didn't make much sense unless there's something going on behind the scenes. And by the way, now that my diesel chart loaded, I see why. $7.03 a gallon for diesel. But prices, remarkably for diesel, the price has been above $7 now since April 8th. And it may eventually here slip back below the $7 mark.
And just to put a fine point on it, why is the price of diesel so much of a big deal for people when they go to the grocery store or other places to buy things?
Well, we see it every day on the road. The trucks that make those deliveries, that is where $7 diesel is going to be particularly impactful. Trucks and trains drive the U.S. economy, and the tractors feed the economy. They feed us. And so, when you talk about, getting something from the field to the grocery store, you're talking about, processing, distribution, end mile distribution. I mean, diesel is what powers the U.S. supply chain back and forth all these commodities are moving between factories, between processing, between distribution, and all of that is powered by, a commodity now that's $7 a gallon, and that's a huge price.
I've heard some people predict that there's no turning back, that this is just going to be the new normal. Do you buy into that?
Well, I don't know that it would be the new normal. I do know that Iran would probably be foolish to, give up control of something that is now causing a lot of issues in the United States, right? It's a huge bargaining chip Iran has discovered. It's kind of like their gold mine is like, well, we can control the U.S. and what they do if we just do a little bit of this and that. So, it's kind of... for Iran, it might be an addiction now at this point. Like, hey, look at all the chaos we can sow in the global market. It might not be something they just want to relinquish.
Yeah, we're hearing from people on Wall Street calling it the nacho, not a chance Hormuz opens. So we'll be watching that, of course. I'm curious, though, Patrick, as you watch this, is this historic yet? Is this something that we're going to remember for generations, or is this just going to be a blip in the big picture?
Well, I mean, from the historical perspective, both gasoline and diesel have hit records, and that's always going to be tied to this situation. We all remember 2022 when inflation was white hot, when gas prices skyrocketed. So, you put this in the context of the Arab oil embargo. It's probably, from a supply perspective, more disruptive than the Arab oil embargo was back in the 70s. We don't have the gas lines, thank goodness. Part of the reason is that we learned a lot of lessons after the Arab oil embargo, right? We built the Strategic Petroleum Reserve because of that we're using now to try and offset the shock from the Strait of Hormuz being shut down. So absolutely, I think this is historic, certainly my career. How many times have you invited me and I've had the opportunity to come on your show? I mean, that's historic as well. So that's the part I'm ready to have, that the chapter might be closed. And I'm sure everyone's probably sick of hearing me talk about high prices. But I think this is something that we'll probably remember for a while.
Yeah, when we first started chatting regularly a couple of months ago, I always asked you for some good news. I'm not even going to go there today. But we love having you.
I heard Patrick on one of the podcasts. He said he's pasty. He hasn't been out in months.
It's just this LED light that is burning my retinas out, and that's about it.
Thanks for
I feel like when the sun finally hits me, it's going to turn me colors.
All right.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. It's time to check in with Sully for traffic.
A little positive news for those of you stuck in the 15-minute backup on northbound I-5 getting through Tacoma. All the lanes have reopened, including the exit lane there right by Portland Ave. So we have still have the convoy sitting over on the left shoulder or right shoulder, but we don't have any lanes blocked anymore, and we're starting to see things kind of break free just a little bit. It's just going to take a little while. Olympia to Tacoma is running at 45 minutes, and then you get through it up the hill to 18's not bad. Federal Way to Seattle's running about 50. Heaviest spot there is at the north end of Boeing Field up past the West Seattle Bridge. Valley Freeway about 50 minutes, maybe a little under depending on how you hit it. It's not terrible in Auburn, but it is kind of heavy at the north end, and then Renton to Bellevue's a half an hour. Still working on a sizable backup from the Issaquah-Hobart Road up to the Tiger Mountain Summit. A crash 2/3 of the way up the summit in the left-hand lane causing some braking there. Lake bridges are still good. Coming down through Marysville, we actually have heavy rain now in that corridor, so plan on 30 minutes to go from Arlington to Everett, and it's all just right there from 88th on down. And then about an hour from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, mainly cloudy for today. We might see some sun breaks for the afternoon. 66 the high. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Then we're going to warm up on Saturday, about 73 with the clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. 53 here in the city right now.
Coming up, we'll have more of the day's top headlines, and in the 7:35 commentary, unfortunately, we have a local elected leader who needs to go. We'll talk about it at 7:35.
And this is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision, and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. This is Sully. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all right there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to 4 nights of smooth jazz fusion with Spyro Gyra. Shows run May 7th through May 10th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Vincent and Gala, May 12th and 13th.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:31. A scary moment for a woman in a Seattle park the other day. Police say an 18-year-old suspect attacked her with a weapon that looked like something from medieval times.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a look at that weapon and the knife. Police say the suspect swung around.
Yeah, this is kind of scary stuff. We have it up on mynorthwest.com. So if you're driving to work, when you get there, just click on My Northwest, go to the story. You're going to want to see these things. We've got it up right now on our YouTube feed. If you're watching, you're looking at these things. There's the knife. It was a 6-inch blade, so that's scary enough right there. That other weapon, though, called a flail, like a ball on a chain that you'd see in some kind of movie with knights, swinging that thing around and bashing each other. But that ball in this case is a metal, it looks like an anchor pin, doesn't it? Like something like put a rope or something on to hoist something up. And it has several sharp bolts sticking out of it, like kind of sheared off, it looks like. And the whole thing is just rusted out as well. You don't want to get hit with something like that. Well, a couple of days ago, police say this suspect walked into Hing Park in the Chinatown International District. He started asking people for fentanyl. They didn't have any, they said, and they told him to leave the park. So he did, but he came back with those weapons. He tried to stab several people, swinging that knife around, police say, first. And then police say he walked up to a 27-year-old woman and tried to hit her with that homemade flail, that rusted-out piece of junk thing. Investigators say he tried to attack that woman a few days earlier as well at 3rd and Yesler, just several blocks away, so perhaps they knew each other. He was arrested on suspicion of assault and was booked into the King County Jail. Scary, scary stuff.
We have neighbors all the time in the Chinatown International District saying this is what's happening all the time with the drug crisis. You have 12th and Jackson right up there, and this is what they are dealing with, it seems like, on a daily basis.
So is the expectation that you're in the park, and if you don't have fentanyl on you, you just want to enjoy the park, then you might be attacked by a flail? I don't know.
It is just sad what's happening.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. Thank you, Luke. It's 7:33.
A bidding battle may be taking shape for the Seahawks. According to Sportico, 2 heavyweight contenders are preparing offers. Aditya Mittal, a billionaire investor with ties to the Celtics, and longtime Boston Celtics owner Wyc Grousbeck. Analysts say the Seahawks could fetch a record-setting price if the team hits the market. The Allen Family Trust still controls the franchise and hasn't announced when a sale decision might come.
But what does G. Scott say?
If a name gets out there, it's not real.
Okay, so we'll have to take that with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Time for traffic on the 3s. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're definitely seeing things improve through Tacoma now that we've cleared all the lanes of northbound I-5 just before the Puyallup River Bridge, where we had a crash long-term that involved a military convoy and at least one civilian car. So just a little bit of braking right around the interchange with 16. But other than that, not bad. And no reason to divert over to the 512 and then up the Valley Freeway. We're looking at about 42 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, so we're getting there. Problem is now that blob of people that have been stuck there is just kind of moving up in a group, and we're seeing heavy braking through Federal Way now. Give yourself 50 minutes to get you to Seattle. 50 as well, up the Valley Freeway, Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes. Lake bridges are still good. Really heavy through Marysville today, past the Outlet Mall. We have some rain up there too, so 30 minutes from Arlington into Everett's about a 15-minute delay, and then an hour and 10 from Everett into Bellevue and an hour from Everett to Seattle. Not a great drive out of Snohomish County, but nothing you shouldn't have expected. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by me, KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast again, seeing some odd rain in spots this morning. For most of us, just mostly cloudy for today with a few sun breaks, 66. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Saturday, though, we're going to warm up to 73 with lots of sunshine in the afternoon. Sunday is Mother's Day, more clouds, but still warm, right around 70. Right now in Seattle, it is mostly cloudy and 53.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. If you are a mom or a dad, let me ask you something. Your daughter's been in a relationship for a few years. The guy seemed great at first. Successful, well-connected, a leader in the community. They got engaged, built a life together. But it fell apart, the way these things do sometimes. By the spring of last year, your daughter was done, really done. She moved out. She made it clear it's over. But he doesn't stop. According to court filings, he sent hundreds of texts. She blocks his number. He finds other ways. Fake social media accounts, old photos and love letters she never asked for. He tracks her location, shows up at public events. Late at night, he sits in his car outside her house. Your daughter finally does what you've been begging her to do. She sends him a text. Leave me alone. His reply, one word, never. So she gets a restraining order, then another. He violates them. One night she calls 911 because he's outside her home again. While she's on the phone with the dispatcher, he's right there. Police arrest him. He tells the officers he was just in the neighborhood looking at real estate. Then your daughter starts seeing someone new. According to police reports, the ex contacts the new man's employer with fabricated sexual assault accusations. This isn't a broken heart. This isn't a rough patch. Something is wrong with this man. He cannot accept that another human being has the right to walk away from him. You want every institution in the system to take it seriously. The courts, the police, his employer. You want him held accountable. And here's the thing. This comes from actual court filings, police reports, and sworn testimony right here in King County, deeply reported by Publicola. That man is John Arthur Wilson, the elected King County assessor. These are charges Wilson denies. As of this week, he walks into his government office each morning wearing a court-ordered GPS ankle monitor. A Seattle judge lost confidence that he will obey the law and stay away from the woman he's accused of stalking. A sitting elected official, an ankle monitor, a stalking case. Now, Wilson has pleaded not guilty. The court ordered the GPS device with a 1,000-foot exclusion zone around her home and workplace. His attorney argued he couldn't wear it due to a medical condition. So the judge reluctantly removed it. Within hours of that ruling, Wilson posted grinning selfies from a hot tub on Instagram with captions like, "What a great day to just soak in the tub and let your cares float away." Judge had a word for that. She called it cavalier. So the monitor went right back on. The King County Council, all 9 members, have unanimously demanded his resignation. Those are Democrats and Republicans on the council. They've done this twice. Their letter said he has fully lost our confidence in your judgment and your ability to perform the duties of your role. He's refused to leave because surrendering the office would mean accepting what everyone else already sees. If this were your daughter's ex-boyfriend, you wouldn't care about his job title. You wouldn't care about his policy accomplishment. You would want every institution with the power to act to take it seriously. The courts are doing their part. The ankle monitor is on. The charges are filed. A trial date is ahead. But this man still holds public office. He still walks into the county building every day and exercises government authority over millions of people, while a GPS device on his ankle tracks his movements to make sure he doesn't get within 1,000 feet of a woman who is afraid of him. Think about the women who work in his office. They show up every morning for a boss the court doesn't trust to leave another woman alone. That's the workplace we're asking them to walk into. Now, I will be the first to apologize if he's exonerated at trial. But, John, you need to resign today. Of course, with this pattern of behavior, we know he won't do it on his own, but we should say it plainly anyway. Because the women in our lives, the daughters and sisters and partners who have lived with some version of this, deserve to hear us say it out loud. This is not okay, and it has to stop. And that's the 735 commentary for Thursday, May 8th, 2026. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube live at KIRO Newsradio, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 740. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the slowing in Marysville and then coming away from Linwood, so we'll talk about it next.
If you own rental property in Washington, you probably already know it's not what it used to be. Rising property taxes, increased maintenance costs, and some of the most onerous landlord-tenant regulations in the country. At some point, many landlords ask the question, is this still worth it? Brian Evans, CEO of Madrona Financial and CPAs, is hosting a live interactive workshop called Landlord Exit Strategies. In this seminar, he'll break down the impact of today's regulations, strategies that may allow you to defer and potentially reduce taxes, and how the Delaware Statutory Trust may help. It's a straightforward conversation about your options, before you make a costly decision. To register or learn more, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. Be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
The Camping World Ultimate RV Show is coming to Angel of the Winds RV Resort in Seattle. Parking and admission are free. Join us May 14th to the 17th to shop special show pricing on over 200 fully staged new and used RVs. Get an exclusive first look at new models. Check out the latest gear and accessories. Bring the family to enjoy our Kids Zone and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show in Seattle, May 14th to the 17th. We'll see you there.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com. 7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And we are in recovery mode in some places and still grinding in a lot. Going to start where we're recovering on northbound I-5 as you work your way through Tacoma. Long-term crash right there by the Puyallup River Bridge. Finally, all lanes have reopened, so that's certainly positive. Travel times are coming back down. Now that everybody was trapped there, is just slowly moving their way up the I-5 corridor from Federal Way to Seattle, so that drive itself is running about 50 minutes. Valley Freeway also about 50, and then Renton to Bellevue is about 35, so kind of average on those spots. Still struggling up to Tiger Mountain on eastbound Highway 18, about halfway up the hill from the Issaquah-Hobart Road. The left lane remains blocked for a crash there. Coming down from the north end, I'm looking for a crash around the Tulalip Outlet Mall. Haven't been able to find it, but it is super slow through that corridor. We had some earlier rain in that spot earlier today, but right now 30 minutes from Arlington to Everett. Once you get through that, though, not too bad of a drive till you get down to Linwood for 405 and for I-5 right around 175th. We've got about an hour from Everett to Seattle, hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, so 20 minutes slower on that side of the lake. I'm also looking to see if there might be something brewing right as you get down towards Beardsley. And oh, by the way,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in the southbound express toll lane as you make your way away from Linwood. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Forecast calls for cloudy skies today, a high of 65. Looks like we'll be in the low 70s by Mother's Day. Right now in Seattle, it's 50.
At 7:44, Sully, you have a choke point coming up, and it's a good one.
Yeah, it is. We're going to take a look at the massive traffic shift that's going to be coming for drivers who use I-5 and 520.
Well, in just about an hour and a half, Closets by Design is stopping by my place, helping out with our spare bedroom / office. We're going to make that space usable. See, Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, all custom built, nothing off a shelf. Everything finally has a place. For a limited time, 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
Some people out there love to do things entirely on their own. Others ask for help and trust their resources. When involved in an auto accident, you've got the choice of dealing with insurance on your own or hiring an attorney. I'm joined in studio by Harold D. Carr. He represents Harold Carr Law Offices. Harold, what's one of the main reasons for seeking representation?
If you were to look at statistics, most people end up with a lot less recovery when they don't have a law firm representing them.
And why should they hire Harold Carr Law Offices?
We're not shy about bringing lawsuits. We do try to settle, and insurance companies know that. They know that we're fair in how we talk to them. The answer is really we are very professional. But we've had cases, big and small where we've had to take it into litigation, and about 98% of those will settle in mediation. A lot more than the client originally expected.
Visit carlaw.com. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Yes, the May 7th edition of Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Got it wrong a little earlier.
Yes.
Attention I-5 and Highway 520 drivers. Your merging skills better be up to the task.
Yeah, major traffic shift is going to greet you Monday morning. It's going to take some getting used to. Sully, tell us what's happening.
Okay, getting on eastbound 520 from either direction of I-5 hasn't changed since that interchange was built. So we're talking before most of us were born. So if you don't drive it very often, and if you're watching on YouTube Live, there's a look at the on-ramps coming on. That's northbound coming on from the left, southbound coming on from the middle, and then there's this new ramp being constructed right there that I'm being focused on. I know you can't see it on the radio, so I'm going to explain it to you. So what happens is northbound I-5 drivers end up in the right lane as you go onto eastbound 520. Southbound drivers come up and end up in the left lane. Well, that switches this weekend. Come Monday morning, northbound drivers will now be on a new ramp that goes over the southbound ramp from I-5 and then pops onto 520 on the left side of the road.
If you follow the car in front of you and we stripe it properly, which we will, you'll just use a new ramp to get to eastbound 520. I think the bigger thing will be people coming from southbound I-5 will be coming as they normally will, and instead of having traffic on their right, they'll have traffic on their left.
And that is going to be a big deal for drivers who have been doing this all of their lives. WashDOT Steve Pierce says that will create a new merging scenario for drivers wishing to get off at Montlake Boulevard. Northbound I-5 drivers will now have to merge into the right lane to do it.
The people that are coming from northbound I-5 wanting to go to Montlake will have about a third of a mile to merge over. So we're encouraging people to zipper merge. Be kind to the other drivers, but you should have plenty of time to be able to get over.
Southbound I-5 drivers will no longer have to merge. They will already be in the right lane. But again, they're going to have traffic on their left for the first time going the same direction. So expect some confusion on Monday. This is a very significant shift. So why is WashDOT doing this?
We need to create a work zone in these lanes because we're building a lid over 520 and we need work room.
To prep for this traffic change, WashDOT is going to be closing eastbound 520 all weekend from late Friday night to early Monday morning. Pierce says they've got a lot to do.
To not only shut down this old ramp, but also to open the new ramp. There's still some finishing touches that need to happen. You can see there's some paving, lots of striping. From I-5, essentially eastbound all the way to Montlake. New striping that'll make sure people are right in their own lane.
This new lane configuration expected to last about 2 years as contractors build that 2.5-acre lid over the highway there and then add HOV lanes from Montlake to I-5. This is all part of the final phase of widening 520 and building the new bridge over the lake. They started on the east side and have worked all the way over to here. You can see the ton of activity going on at Portage Bay. They're building new bridges there that will eventually connect into I-5 and into this new ramp configuration. You can see it there pretty clearly as I look east there on our YouTube live feed. Work expected to wrap up not anytime soon. When does Sam graduate from college?
From college, that would be 2034.
Okay, well, before that. So 2030 or 2031 is when they're expected to wrap up.
When Lily graduates from college.
There we go, yeah. So, and that will probably put a bow on 20 years of construction across the lake on 520.
What was confusing to me and also amusing yesterday was you were describing this in the newsroom, how it would work, and you were making all sorts of arm motions. You were with your arms, it was flyover, and then I realized you were doing the Macarena dance.
Was that really?
Yeah.
You think that's how they came up with this? A couple of traffic engineers were trying to explain something to someone, and they ended up here, and they added the little pelvic thrust for a little flair there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop doing this.
No flair, thank you.
No, but yeah, it is. I mean, what I drew Amanda a picture.
Yeah.
I drew you a picture too. Here, if you can't really see that, but that's okay. I know it's
Traffic for Dummies 101.
Yeah, I had ChatGPT kind of take your drawing. David, if we can just take a look at my phone screen here.
Wow, that actually kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know we can't see it on the screen.
Yeah, it looks pure white on the screen.
Yeah, so basically, you're just switching ramps. Okay, we're learning the YouTube live thing, people, by the way, because right now you're just looking at a blank screen. I can see it perfectly fine, and apparently I should have used a Sharpie for this, but no, the importance is...
It was very helpful, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to try to do some animation when I post this a little bit later to make sure everybody knows what's going away, where you're going to go. It'll be pretty obvious when you drive it, but I think it's just going to be a shock to have to merge when you've never had to, or to kind of have traffic on one side of you where you haven't before. Just some growing pains probably through the middle of next week, and then after that it'll be old hat. But yeah, Monday morning's going to be interesting.
Okay, check it out at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:53, so let's talk about what's happening right now on the roads.
And I will promise to do less pelvic thrusting.
Oh, stop. Don't even say that.
No, not doing that, Sully.
Flair.
I said less of it.
None of it.
Okay, well, we're kind of getting back to relatively normal in terms of almost accident-free, which is great. We still have one that's active, and I'll get to that in a minute. But our biggest impact definitely is the southbound slowing through Marysville, but it's getting better. More yellow than red, so we're back down to about 28 minutes to get you down into Everett from Smoky Point in Arlington. And then you have about an hour and 20-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, about an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle. So that's average. Northbound I-5, not bad through DuPont, not bad through Tacoma. We've cleared the crash there by the Puyallup River Bridge, so not bad. We do have a little slowing through Fife. Give yourself 25 minutes to Tacoma to Federal Way, and Federal Way to Seattle is about 50. 50 from Puyallup to Renton, that's normal. Renton to Bellevue is about 40. Lake bridges are still in fine shape. The one crash that we are still working on that might be in the process of clearing is on eastbound 18, about half the way up to the Tiger Mountain Summit. We have a lot of slowing left right around the Issaquah-Hobart Road, but that appears to be getting better. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to stay mostly cloudy today and tomorrow with some peaks of sunshine and highs in the mid-60s. Saturday looks really nice, warming up to about 73. Sully, knock it off. Sunshine on Sunday for Mother's Day. Mostly cloudy around 70, but again, we'll see some sun breaks. Right now, it's 53 in Seattle.
I don't know if cameras are the best idea for this show. I really don't.
Nobody needs to see that.
Nobody does. You can always check out our YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio if you dare.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Stream Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Windows are our home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
This Memorial Day, feel the freedom of lower energy bills. Lake Washington Windows and Doors is taking $525 off every window, plus $1,000 off every patio or entry door. Plus, enjoy 12 months free financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. For 34 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. They're offloading some passengers from a cruise ship that has a hantavirus outbreak on board. 3 passengers were flown to the Netherlands for treatment, and the ship is now en route to Spain's Canary Islands, according to the World Health Organization's Tedros Ghebreyesus.
I have been in touch with the ship's captain regularly, including this morning. He told me morale has improved significantly since the ship started moving again.
He says the risk to the global population is low. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has wrapped up his meeting at the Vatican, hoping to mend fences between the Pope and President Trump over the war in Iran. Reporter Anna Matranga.
President Trump said the Pope was, quote, fine with Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Pope Leo responded by saying, for years, the church has spoken out against all nuclear weapons. If someone wants to criticize me for proclaiming the gospel, let him do so truthfully.
Rubio also met with the Vatican Secretary of State. President Trump claims the Iran war will be over quickly. CBS's Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
It's difficult to isolate exactly what is different this time around, but President Trump is very optimistic. And yesterday, he said once again that Iran wanted to make a deal very badly. We know that there is a memorandum of understanding in the works that the U.S. has sent Iran, but we are waiting for Iran's response to that.
There was severe weather overnight in the Deep South. In Mississippi, hundreds of businesses and homes were damaged by strong winds and tornadoes. CBS's Rob Marciano was tracking things.
Violent twisters ripped through southern Mississippi overnight, crushing mobile homes and reducing them into nothing but scraps of metal and wood in a trailer park about an hour south of Jackson. Emergency officials say people were trapped by debris. The powerful system taking down utility lines, leaving thousands in the southern part of the state in the dark, and highways blocked by downed trees.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has applied for the World Trade Center health program, as Michael Wallace reports.
Giuliani is recovering from pneumonia after being listed in critical condition at a Florida hospital Sunday. His spokesman says Giuliani has been diagnosed with restrictive airway disease, a condition he says was linked to the time he spent at Ground Zero.
We asked that the airspace around the city of New York be sealed.
If he is approved, Giuliani would join more than 152,000 people enrolled in the World Trade Center health program, which covers the medical costs of people affected by the 9/11 attacks.
Checking the numbers on Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. The Dow is down 22 points. The Nasdaq is higher by 170 points. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
8:03. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
Starting the hour with all of our crashes cleared and are recovering travel times across the board. Going to start with the last crash we had to work with, and that was on eastbound Highway 18 heading up to Tiger Mountain. All lanes have reopened east of the Issaquah-Hobart Road. We still have slowing to deal with over the top of Tiger Mountain, but we no longer, looks like, have that left lane blocked and backed up to Issaquah-Hobart Road. Looking at the rest of our map, we are definitely seeing heavy brake lights out of Lacey, out of Marysville. Sorry, I had my eyes on the wrong part of the map. But more yellow than red, which is certainly an improvement, and the travel times are getting better there. You have a nice long freeway speed drive till you get down to Linwood, and then 405 is going to be bumper to bumper all the way through 522, and then a little bit more down through Totem Lake. It's still an hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle, with about an hour of that just from Linwood, and about 50 minutes from Linwood to Seattle, with an hour and 10 all the way from Everett. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 as well up the Valley Freeway. Renton to Bellevue, just under 40, so no real surprises for you out there. Westbound 90 across the lake, though, is starting to see a little bit of braking, but you can handle it. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's 8:04 on the Thursday, May 7th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
The Seattle City Council is pushing forward legislation to expand the size of temporary shelters for the homeless.
The bill passed a committee with 4 amendments, but it was an amendment that was removed at the last second that might make critics angry.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is live to explain.
Yeah, so if this passes, this bill will expand the size of temporary shelters around the city by 50%. So any location hosting tiny homes, RVs, or tents can grow from 100 residents to 150 and so on. There was an amendment being considered that would have placed zone restrictions for shelter expansion, creating buffers like near schools and parks. Well, that was removed at the last second. For many nonprofits like Anitra Freeman with ShareWheel, they told city council members amendments to the bill, they don't like any of them because they would restrict how they could help.
It resembles the organization of a prison.
more than of a shelter.
The amendments that did pass include 2 that require sites with more than 100 beds to have a public safety plan and be staffed 24/7. Another requires shelters to have an agreement with nearby neighborhoods that would center around expectations for behavior in a shelter expansion area. The last one mandates you have to have one manager for every 15 residents with high needs. But again, nonprofits at the meeting last night and people living in shelters now, like this gentleman you're about to hear from, said those amendments will just get in the way.
Without shelter, people do die, and sometimes red tape kills. Homeless people, including those in low-barrier shelters, are people in need, not predators.
So the debate here really is, building shelters anywhere in the city or there's specific areas. It sounds like they're kind of going toward build them anywhere right now. Not back to that buffer zone. I mean, that could come up in a different way later on, just in the form of we'll send out letters to schools saying, hey, there could be an expansion coming your way near you soon. But, some council members worry their hands are kind of tied a bit by creating those buffer zones because they have to follow a new state law that requires cities to allow more shelters in more neighborhoods. The bill here in the city will go to the full council vote next month.
Yeah, reminder, that law allows shelters in any neighborhood.
Any neighborhood, and that's what they're fearful of. They kind of have to follow that to the T.
8:06 now in Seattle's Morning News.
The man accused of luring and raping a 15-year-old girl in North Seattle Monday was in court yesterday. Prosecutors charged Joshua Kowalczewski with first-degree rape and kidnapping. According to court documents, he was on a bike Monday when he approached the girl as she stood at a bus stop near Northeast 103rd and 5th Avenue Northeast. He allegedly lured her into the woods and assaulted her. Here's Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
King County prosecutors asked for him to be held on $1 million bail, and the court said bail at that amount.
McNerthney says Kowalczewski wasn't charged with rape of a child because current charges more accurately describe his actions and carry more severe penalties if convicted.
The Humane Society for Tacoma and Pierce County apologizing and reviewing its safety protocols after a pit bull it brought to the Tacoma City Marathon fatally attacked an attendee's pet. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley.
One witness told us they were wearing an adoption vest.
The Tacoma Humane Society volunteer was standing there holding the dog. You could tell she just was so lost, and she herself was traumatized.
This woman saw the aftermath. She filed an incident witness report and says the shelter told her they had just received the dog from an owner's surrender. That was 2 days prior. We asked the shelter to confirm that. A representative sent a statement but did not directly address these claims.
Newly released video shows the suspect accused of stealing a Washington State Patrol trooper's vehicle on Christmas Day. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin has details.
Police say 24-year-old Alexander Smith was found walking along I-5 near Northgate. We're now also getting a look at the conversations in the interrogation room on that Christmas afternoon. Smith admitted to going to Seattle to smoke meth 2 days earlier, at some point checking into Harborview. He told detectives he took their car to get home instead of using the bus and complimented the trooper that stopped him.
I had the pedal to the metal, right? But he's going faster than me. I think his car was a little souped up more than mine.
In a court appearance in January, Smith was deemed incompetent to stand trial.
Smith is due back in court May 18th.
Nick! Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Told you not to encourage this, Nick.
I want an encore from Sully right now. I need to see those choke point moves yet. Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Now it's going to be stuck in my head, Nick. Thanks a lot.
We're trying to get people to go to the YouTube Live, not click away.
People are saying it's entertaining over there. They like a little Sully.
You got to give them what you want. What they want, right?
Got to play the hits like Sully says.
Well, this is Seattle's Morning News for Thursday, May 7th. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Chris Sullivan and his moves are over there watching traffic.
Aye.
Producer David Burbank is in the studio with us, and that's Nick Krischer running the board and picking the music.
Yeah, for sure. Nick. Okay. Mariners hung on for a massive series win yesterday.
And again, the 3-2 on the way to Devon. Here she comes, and it's strike three called on the inside corner. The ball game is over. The Mariners win it 3-1. and the Mariners are the first team to win a series against the Atlanta Braves this season. How about that, folks?
All right, Seattle has a day off today. They head to Chicago to face the White Sox tomorrow.
Coming up this hour, the show, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has a Tech Talk today, how Meta is using AI to crack down on underage users.
And G. Scott stops by with some new data out from our state that shows who is moving in and moving out of Washington.
It's 8:10. Former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, who twice ran for Congress in Washington's 3rd District, is speaking out about his resignation.
Kent tells KIRO News Radio's John Curley the U.S. has painted itself into a corner in Iran, and he's not sure President Trump can get out of it.
Iran is just so big, it's just so geostrategically essential that the problems aren't Iraq or Afghanistan size. It's times 10 and it affects the whole world.
Kent stepped down in March, claiming Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Trump at the time said Kent was a nice guy, but weak on security, and given his take on Iran, it was a good thing he resigned. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Home prices falling in Puget Sound's priciest counties, down nearly 7% in King County, slipping in Snohomish. The drop comes as the latest data shows inventory across the region surged nearly 30% year over year. Seattle broker Anton Alexander is with Compass Real Estate. He says a wave of tech layoffs is a major factor.
Not everybody feels secure, right? When every other week there's a new announcement, people feel like they need to be a little bit more conservative financially.
Higher mortgage rates, inflation worries also keeping buyers on the sideline. Alexander says the market is trending in the right direction as the number of homes getting under contract within the first 10 days is starting to tick up.
Couple of sports notes this morning. Seattle's push for an NBA team is taking another step forward. According to the Seattle Times, Samantha Holloway, majority owner of the Kraken, has hired financial advisors to help shape a formal expansion bid. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has repeatedly said expansion is on the horizon.
And some momentum around a possible sale of the Seahawks. Sportico reports bidders are preparing offers, and Aditya Mittal, a billionaire steel executive with minority ownership in the Boston Celtics, along with former Celtics owner Wick Grousbeck, the Paul Allen Family Trust, which currently controls the team, hasn't announced a timeline for any sale.
It's now 8:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. For that, here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Clouds again this morning, some drizzle, some mist, especially in Snohomish County. I do expect we'll see that end, but only sun breaks mainly south of there. I think you'll see some sun breaks around Seattle south, and then clouds are going to increase again this afternoon. Knowing that, we should still get to the mid-60s, but still not a ton of sunshine. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, and I expect you'll be right there in the low to mid-60s, and then Saturday about the low 70s with increasing sunshine, but you still also see clouds in the afternoon. And then Mother's Day, partly to mostly cloudy around 69 to 70, and low to mid-70s with sunshine for next week.
It's cloudy and 53 in Seattle right now.
8:13 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
Slowly but surely trying to get our travel times to get back in line. Plus or minus, they're about what they should be for a Thursday. But we've had a couple of crashes and little weather. So all in all, it hasn't been a great day. One spot where we're seeing definitely a little bit heavier than normal drive. The Federal Way to Seattle drive is at about an hour, 10 minutes slower than normal. I think we're finally seeing all of the people that were trapped in Tacoma long-term for a crash finally moving their way all the way up into downtown. And the pack, the herd, is certainly right around the West Seattle Bridge now. So plan on about 40 minutes from South Center and an hour, as I said, all the way from Federal Way. Northbound 167 from about 180th on in is heavy, a little bit in Auburn, a little bit behind that as well. So we're over 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about 40. Lake Bridges, westbound I-90, a little braking as you approach the Mount Baker Tunnel. Eastbound 520 has some slowing as well, getting away from Montlake. I'm going to check into that, see if there's anything unusual there, because that's a little odd for this time of day. Coming down from the north end, we're about an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue. Again, about average for what we would expect on a Thursday morning. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
In today's Tech Talk, a lot of kids these days, well, they lie about their age in order to create social media accounts.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports Meta now says they're trying to block underage users once and for all on Instagram and Facebook using AI.
Can social media really tell if you're a teenager or just pretending to be one? Jennifer Hanley, head of safety policy for Meta, tells me now they can.
We're able to look at a whole variety of different signals so that we can help detect underage accounts.
Meta is incorporating AI to detect underage users who might lie and claim they're older than 13 so they can use platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
So now what we're able to do is look at profiles, but also things like Instagram Live and Reels, Facebook groups, things like comments and captions and bios.
And Meta can collect all those pieces within seconds, along with other visual pieces to put that age puzzle together.
We're not recognizing you with your facial recognition. We're looking for signals that someone's, bone structure or height might indicate that they're a child and not an adult, for example. So they, might be misrepresenting that they're an adult, but actually be someone who's like 10 or 11. We're trying to find those accounts so that we can deactivate them.
However, collecting all that data raises flags for Suzanne Bernstein with the Electronic Privacy Information Center.
All the information that we post or that we provide to Meta using these platforms, we don't have much control over how that information is used, and we don't have as many privacy protections as we might think.
Meta's rollout also comes as Meta faces intense legal scrutiny over child safety. In March, a jury in New Mexico found Meta liable for failing to protect children from exploitation online. In California, a separate jury found Meta and YouTube responsible for features that allegedly contributed to addiction and mental health harm among young users. I recently talked with the lead attorney in that case, Matt Bergman, who's based right here in Seattle.
Anyone who has kids experiences the consequences of social media addiction, and some of the parents experience very horrific consequences.
Meta declined to comment on those cases, and they are appealing. When I asked Hanley what is Meta's responsibility when it comes to child safety, she told me safety is an industry-wide issue.
We're one company. There are so many different platforms out there that teens use.
And Meta said it's time for federal regulation.
Passing legislation that allows for age verification and parental approval at the App Store level. We do feel a strong responsibility. We're very committed to doing this. That's why we have been investing in tools and resources and safety for, more than a decade.
In addition to protecting kids, Meta also might be reacting here to pressure in their international markets and trying to get ahead of legislation here in the U.S. as well, especially from states. 19 different countries now have pretty strict laws and regulations concerning social media and being used by children, including 12 in Europe. Meta is developing an Instagram for teens as well. But here in the U.S., the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, bans companies from collecting personal data from children under 13. Much less restrictive than the rest of the world. State lawmakers are really diving into this now, and it sounds like Meta is trying to get some guardrails in place from the federal government as well.
So they're saying we want some sort of federal law. Is there any indication there's a push for that at the federal level?
No, in fact, the administration and J.D. Vance spoke at an AI conference in Paris in the last year saying they would like to develop AI and encourage entrepreneurship in a way that no guardrails on AI. So, it's a really, really complex issue.
Quite a disconnect. Thank you, Luke Ducey with Tech Talk.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is at the Vatican today for a meeting with Pope Leo.
Before arriving in Italy, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he'll be talking with Pope Leo about more than just the war in Iran.
We have shared concerns about religious freedom, freedom in different parts of the world. We'd love to talk to them about that.
The trip comes amid growing tension between the president and the Pope. It began last month when the Pope described the conflict as an unjust war.
But woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political gain.
Triggering a lengthy post from President Trump where he described the Pope as weak on crime. And President Trump has since deleted controversial AI-generated image many think depicted him as Jesus, but that he insists was meant to display him as a doctor. The administration downplaying the back and forth.
What the president basically said is that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon because they would use it against places that have a lot of Catholics and Christians and others for that matter.
The Pope says it's his job to preach peace.
I always believe that it's much better to enter into dialogue than to look for arms and to support the arms industry.
The Pope has said that he wasn't looking to debate the president and that many of his remarks were prepared weeks in advance. In Washington, Gabrielle Caracciolo, News Nation.
Well, we know calling customer service can be a hassle, and even the Pope isn't exempt from that. Here's Tony DeCopel from CBS News.
Pope Leo, living one of the most exceptional lives on the planet. He now serves 1 billion Catholics as leader of the church and the entire world as a messenger of peace. And yet, not even he can avoid frustrating dealings with customer service. In a story told recently by Father Tom McCarthy, an old friend of the Pope's from Illinois, the Pope had to call his bank to update the address and phone number on file. But the bank said they were unable to do it over the phone. And I'll let Father McCarthy take it from here.
She asks all the security questions. And then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. It says here you have to come in person." And he said, "Well, that's not going to, I'm not going to be able to do that. Would it matter to you if I told you I'm Pope Leo?" She hung up on him.
The Pope did eventually get a message to the bank president, we're told, and the file was updated. But think of the real miracle here. The next time you're on with customer service and getting absolutely nowhere, you're not alone. The Pope is there with you.
So here's what I was thinking when we're airing this story. Do you suppose he has to? Like, the Pope has a credit score.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and of course, it's perfect.
It should be. And if he needs, I don't know, a Visa card or something, does he have to provide like a reference? Like, who would he use as a reference?
I have no idea.
He'll say, "I know people in high places."
It's 8:21. The U.S. Supreme Court is heading into its busiest time of the year with nearly 36 decisions expected by July. But with a new children's book out, Justice Neil Gorsuch is speaking in a rare interview on the state of the court. Here's that report from CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford.
The court is also a frequent target of President Trump, who appointed Gorsuch 9 years ago.
Does a justice owe a president loyalty?
No. My loyalty is the Constitution and laws of the United States. That's the oath I took. It's really just that simple.
Now, over the next couple months, President Trump is probably not going to be too happy with the court as the justices release opinions in major cases like birthright citizenship, which the president is highly likely to lose.
Like, does the Pope use bill pay?
How did I know you were going to go back
You're
to
still
that?
talking about...
There's people for that.
He has the app open. He's like, "Oh, man, I forgot to pay this. I hope they don't turn the water off."
You imagine getting a Venmo from Pope Leo?
Yeah. For like a cappuccino.
You remember we could get a late fee from Cap One?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, hey, come on. I'm sure he could probably go somewhere.
I've been busy.
I'm a Catholic, and I'm probably going to go to hell for this, but I'm sure he could probably go melt down some gold from the basement and probably pay off. I'm sure they've got enough. They're sitting on.
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
I don't know.
I thought maybe he'd pay in myrrh, too. Who knows?
Ooh, myrrh. No one pays in myrrh anymore.
Does he get overdraft forgiveness?
Oh, I see what you did there.
By the way, I think the biggest Pope story of the day, in case you haven't thought about it,
yeah,
you better stay out of the way.
Oh.
Mariners in the South Side the next couple of games, and that's his team.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Pope better not get involved in some...
trash talking?
Yeah, or some balls and strikes calling here. I don't want him calling up the ABS and be like, "Yeah, no, that was a strike on Julio. You know who this is? Yeah, the Pontiff."
Click.
Time to check traffic with Sully.
Yeah, that's what I think about. I don't really think at all. My brain just kind of operates somehow.
Oh,
keeps
we
the
know.
vital functions
We
alive,
know.
like breathing and stuff. Okay, coming down from the north end is our heaviest drive by far away from Linwood, but it's getting better. I mean, we're back under an hour and 20 minutes from Everett to Bellevue and back under an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle. So we're getting there. Kind of a typical day for you guys. Now, we do have a crash going northbound on I-5 right there at the Linwood split, right before you get to the Mill Creek exit. It's in the HOV lane. Not seeing a ton around it because, again, that's counter commute. But if you are heading up into the Everett area at this point, just keep that in mind as you kind of make that merge with the 405. You're going to have a little bit of braking there. Rest of the map, And I-5 northbound, still a lot heavier than I'd like to see from the beginnings of Boeing Field up past the West Seattle Bridge. We're in an hour drive situation with 40 minutes of that from South Center into downtown. So that's by far about 10 minutes behind schedule. Renton to Bellevue about 40. Valley Freeway still about 50. Most of Pierce County, the red has turned to yellow, so we're getting there and clearing out. Still have some slowing over the top of Tiger Mountain in the eastbound direction of 18, but by most day standards, it's manageable. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repairs earn local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
We're going to see mostly cloudy skies for today and tomorrow with a few sun breaks and convergence zone showers, but nothing too heavy. Mid-60s for today and tomorrow, up into the low 70s for Saturday. Looks really nice. Clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon. Sunday, Mother's Day, around 70. More clouds rolling. Right now it's 53 in Seattle.
Coming up, we'll have more of the day's top headlines, and Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy gives us an update on how negotiations between the U.S. and Iran may impact the price of what you pay for gas. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
A comment from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is suddenly getting fresh attention.
Claims that millionaires are going to leave our state are super overblown.
Seattle's new mayor can't seem to wave this one off.
The ones that leave, bye.
Arrogance is the word. Exclusive reaction at mynorthwest.com.
When you're a leader, you also have to be there for the people that didn't vote for you.
And the conversation continues on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio App.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Olympic has the perfect way to celebrate spring. A hot tub, swim spa, or sauna at home to take better care of you and your family. Through May 10th, you'll save thousands on the perfect wellness solution for your home. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. A scary moment for a woman in a Seattle park the other day after police say an 18-year-old suspect attacked her with a weapon that looked like something from medieval times.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a look at that weapon and the knife. Police say the suspect swung around.
Yeah, check these out on our YouTube feed. You can also go to mynorthwest.com. We've got photos up there, and I've got it on social media as well. We've been talking about these things all morning. I mean, they're just crazy. Look at the knife first. There's a 6-inch blade. That's pretty scary. But that other weapon that we're talking about, that police confiscated, they say, called a flail. It's like a ball and chain that you'd see in some kind of, medieval movie with knights, in armor and bashing each other. But in this case, the ball at the end of a chain is a metal anchor pin. It looks like, you might use for hoisting things, and it has several sharp bolts sticking out. The whole thing is rusted. I mean, imagine that being swung at you during an assault in a park. Well, that's what happened a couple of days ago, according to police. They say this suspect walked into Hinghey Park in the Chinatown International District. He started asking people for drugs, for fentanyl in particular, and people told him, we don't have any, told him to leave the park, so he did. There was a confrontation. There was shouting back and forth, but he came back to the park with those weapons and tried to stab several people, police say, swinging that knife at them. And then police say he walked up to a 27-year-old woman and tried to hit her with that homemade flail. Investigators say he tried to attack the same woman 3 days earlier at 3rd and Yesler, which is just several blocks away. He was arrested there on the spot on suspicion of assault and was booked into the King County Jail.
Luke Ducey reporting live here on Seattle's Morning News.
More homes, slower sales. KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo looks at our housing market as it enters peak season.
The latest data from the Northwest MLS show active listings jumped more than 28% from a year ago.
Volume of transactions is still down.
Anton Alexander is a Seattle broker with Compass Real Estate and says homes are still selling if they're priced right.
The listings I'm watching sit are not sitting because of the economy. They're sitting because the opening price didn't match the market's current temperature.
Alexander says many buyers are simply sitting out due to several factors, including interest rates and fears over inflation or layoffs. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Marysville police celebrating a big milestone from one of their newest K-9 officers.
Keep your hands visible to me. I want you to lay flat on your stomach. Flat onto your stomach. 1 second.
That was so good. You were so good.
Officers say K9 Kona made his first official capture after a stolen commercial truck was spotted by the city's license plate reader system. Kona found the man hiding in thick shrubs where he surrendered.
Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Sully.
And I'm still hunting for something on northbound I-5 as you work your way past the middle of Boeing Field. It's still really red there. And it shouldn't be. Just a lot of volume, I know, but I've been looking for something, haven't found it. But we're still up over at an elevated 40-minute trip from South Center into downtown and an hour all the way from Federal Way. So about 10 minutes slower than we should be getting. Good news is we are definitely thinning out as we make our way up from Pierce County from south to north. Whatever braking we have on in Pierce County generally is relatively the yellow kind, which means you're going at 40, 45 miles an hour, not a dead stop. So that's positive. Puyallup to Renton back under 50 minutes, but not by much. Heaviest part of that drive still at the far north end, and we might have a crash right near 180th. I haven't been able to find it, but there's still an icon on one of my maps showing it. Looking at Renton to Bellevue of about 42 minutes, so not too bad. The lake bridges are fine. Both directions of I-90 a little slow approaching 405. Coming down from the north end, we've got relatively normal days for you guys. About an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle, hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, and we have cleared the crash on northbound I-5 in the HOV lane just past the Linwood Split, heading up to Mill Creek. This report brought to you by the Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts at early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more, globalcu.org.
Forecast calls for clouds today. We'll have highs in the low to mid 60s. We stay dry the next several days. By Mother's Day Sunday, partly sunny and low 70s. 51 right now in Seattle.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO Newsradio.
As the Iran war continues, the price of gas continues to soar. In our state now, it's nearing $5.80. Once again surpassing the previous record for the highest ever price at the pump in Washington.
Let's check in now with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. Patrick, we're seeing you everywhere. I'm listening to the newscast. I'm watching all the cable channels. You are really on top of this. We appreciate you joining us for a couple moments today. Just give us a big picture. First of all, we see the price of a barrel of oil going down, but the price of our gas going up.
Yeah, we certainly are seeing that this morning. Looking at fresh data here, another new record high for Seattle, $5.94 a gallon. Yeah, we continue to try to rival California across the state. California, by the way, is $6.16, so you're a little bit behind here, but you may not catch up. As you mentioned, the price of oil down for a second straight day. This may eventually, here towards the weekend, stop the increases, and the train could start gaining momentum going the other way, at least for now. Obviously, we've seen a couple of these instances, right, where the administration's close to a deal. But what's different is the president trying to make a deal, but at the same time also forewarning of new potential tax if the deal doesn't occur, if Iran doesn't accept. So, temporarily we may get a little lower over the weekend. And the next chapter is going to be written by what is happening here right now between the U.S. and Iran. Whether or not a deal will emerge, hard to know. But if it does, the market is looking at promise right now and oil lower. But depending on what happens is going to dictate where we go next after a little bit of relief here in the days ahead.
$5.94? Is that what you said?
$5.94 for regular, and diesel, as I look at it here this morning, even higher if my chart would load. Probably not loading because prices are just too high to keep track of now. The chart has to rewrite itself. So
let's talk about the Strait. The U.S. had been trying to escort ships along that oil vessel passage. They ended those attempts. How does that play into all this?
Yeah, it's an interesting development, that President Trump had said, well, we're going to stop. And I think he cited negotiations with Iran. So, that's the interesting dynamic here is maybe that is the first olive branch to Iran, the sign that the U.S. might be serious. You never know if Iran is saying, well, before we start sitting down, this is what our demands are. So it might have been in response to something Iran asked for. And I think that's why oil markets reacted to that, because it didn't make much sense unless there's something going on behind the scenes. And by the way, now that my diesel chart loaded, I see why. $7.03 a gallon for diesel. But prices, remarkably for diesel, the price has been above $7 now since April 8. and it may eventually here slip back below the $7 mark.
And just to put a fine point on it, why is the price of diesel so much of a big deal for people when they go to the grocery store or other places to buy things?
Well, we see it every day on the road. You know, the trucks that make those deliveries, you know, that is where $7 diesel is going to be particularly impactful. You know, trucks and trains drive the U.S. economy, and the tractors feed the economy. They feed us. And so, you know, when you talk about, you know, getting something from the field to the grocery store, you're talking about, you know, processing, distribution, end mile distribution. I mean, diesel is what powers the U.S. supply chain back and forth. All these commodities are moving between factories, between processing, between distribution, and all of that is powered by, you know, a commodity now that's $7 a gallon, and that's a huge price.
I'm curious, though, Patrick, as you watch this, is this historic yet? Is this something that we're going to remember for generations, or is this just going to be a blip in the big picture?
Well, I mean, from the historical perspective, both gasoline and diesel have hit records, and that's always going to be tied to this situation. You know, we all remember 2022 when inflation was white hot, when gas prices skyrocketed. So, you know, you put this in the context of the Arab oil embargo, it's probably from a supply perspective more disruptive than the Arab oil embargo was back in the 70s. We don't have the gas lines, thank goodness. Part of the reason is that we learned a lot of lessons after the Arab oil embargo, right? We built the Strategic Petroleum Reserve because of that we're using now to try and offset the shock from the Strait of Hormuz being shut down. So absolutely, I think this is historic, certainly my career. How many times have you invited me and I've had the opportunity to come on your show? I mean, that's historic as well. So that's the part I'm ready to have that the chapter might be closed. And I'm sure everyone's probably sick of hearing me talk about high prices. But yeah, I think this is something that we'll probably remember for a while.
Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. Traffic coming up next.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, orcas, humpback whales, minke whales, and gray whales are all busy feeding in the Salish Sea right now. May is the time of year when migrating species like humpbacks and minkies return, joining our year-round population of Biggs orcas. Guests on whale watching tours are seeing multiple species of whales on most trips. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. In addition to their popular half-day tour, Puget Sound Express now has a new all-day tour that includes a 2-hour stop on San Juan Island. Orcas, gray whales, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
It's 8:43. Traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And I still haven't found anything on northbound I-5 as you work your way towards the middle of Boeing Field. It's still very slow through that corridor from about south, from basically the Boeing Access Road all the way into downtown. Over 40 minutes from South Center into downtown, but overall, Federal Way to Seattle is about an hour. It's getting much better through Federal Way and into SeaTac. The Valley Freeway thinning out as well. We're back to 45 minutes or less to go from Puyallup up to Renton, and most of Pierce County, other than just the northbound around I-5 corner right there in Fife is cleared out really nicely. Better way to Seattle, about 40 minutes. Lake bridges are still good. Coming down from the north end, a pretty good drive all the way down away from Linwood. Even 405, the brake lights start kind of where the express toll lanes jump in. And for I-5, it's right around 155th. Overall, we have about an hour and 10 from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 15 from Everett to Bellevue. So nothing unusual for you guys. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Get your entire home installed for just $99 at Carpet Liquidators. Carpet to flooring, Carpet Liquidators got you covered.
Our forecast, mostly cloudy for today and tomorrow, although we will see some sun breaks, highs in the mid-60s. Saturday looks great, clouds in the morning, 73 in the sunshine for the afternoon. Sunday, look for a few more clouds to roll in. We'll still be around 70, though. Right now in Seattle, a bit of a sun break. It's 53 degrees.
And coming up, G. Scott stops by to weigh in on where people are going when they move out of Washington. That's ahead on Seattle's Morning News.
Remember when you used to wake up ready to take on the world? Lately, not so much. The brain fog, the exhaustion, that feeling like you're just not you anymore. Well, it's not your imagination, and you don't have to keep pushing through it. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy starts with something you're not going to find online, a real conversation, face-to-face, with a female provider who genuinely gets it, led by Dr. Lucy Hostetter, a board-certified physician. Her team has spent the last 7 years specializing in one thing, helping women feel like themselves again. This is their focus. It's what they do. Your care is driven by labs, by listening, and by a personalized treatment plan that's dialed into your body and your life. And they follow up. This kind of care has to be personal. With convenient locations now both in Tacoma and Bellevue, Dr. Hostetter's practice expanded from the flagship location, which was Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue, to Tacoma. You deserve a provider who makes the uncomfortable conversations comfortable. Reach out today at juvacorhealth.com. That's Juve corehealth.com, and feel like yourself again.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Voted best of Western Washington. Ranked #1 senior living community in America. Aegis Living, Washington's most luxurious assisted living and memory care. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula Show, coming up 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio. He's also the host of the Reset podcast. You can get that on mynorthwest.com. G. Scott is here.
Hey, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Hello.
My partner, who I've never met before,
Gene Balk, the FYI guy. Yeah. By the way, I don't ever want to meet him. I like that he stays a mystery, but I love his work. He did something, again, in the Seattle Times, and he put out a piece that everybody should really kind of know about. So for the entire 2010s, the state of Washington was booming. Added almost 1 million people in a decade. California, overseas, everywhere. They were coming from everywhere to come here. Then the pandemic hit, and then according to this article, something shifted. Since 2020, we've lost over 20,000 people net to other states. That means that more folks are packing up and leaving Washington than moving in from other parts of the country. Here's what the data shows that he talks about. California, our biggest feeder, it was an 18,000 net gain that they had come to their state.
From Washington or just in general?
Just in general.
18,000 people moved to California.
Yep. And Oregon is second at 8,000.
Okay.
Folks are running from cost of living here in Washington, of course. Arizona pulled in 10,000. Idaho pulled in 10,000. Texas pulled in 6,400. And as we all know, Tennessee pretty soon will climb. Let me go back to that. Yes, 18,000 net gain from the pandemic.
Okay,
yes.
Got it.
So right now, if there's anybody that wants to say, hey, people are leaving Washington, technically, you're kind of right? And, of course, we all know that Tennessee will be one of those things. There's a lot of reasons as to why. And there's a lot of reasons as to going forward what might happen. Yesterday, I paid $7.14 a gallon for gas. I had to go right over here by the job, right off of Broadway and Roy. There's a Shell station right there. I needed gas, and it was $7.14. So you have that. My buddy Charlie was at the Charlie Harger was at the grocery store yesterday.
And your buddy again?
Yeah, not really.
For now.
Charlie Harger was at the grocery store yesterday. He showed me prices of the price of ground beef.
$9 a pound.
$9 a pound.
I thought steak was expensive enough. I mean, I've kind of ruled that out.
Yeah.
But $9 a pound for hamburger.
It's staggering.
Like, you made a point. Great point. Hamburger helper.
Yeah.
Remember, that used to be a cheap meal. And I know somebody's going to, because I know this is the crowd, like Climate Commitment Act, like, oh, it wouldn't be $7.14. And what about the CCA? Then it would be 52 to 62 cents less. So just want to make sure I count for that. Look, man, with tech layoffs, which we've seen a lot of, you have houses right now. You have stories out there right now in King County where buyers are not buying right now because of uncertainty and also the interest rates that they're hovering at about 6.5%. You have sellers not really being able to sell because they're constantly having to drop their prices. Right now you have a real situation that's going on in Washington. Yesterday, you asked me the fix. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what type of fix there is here in this state. I just think that things will continue, whether it's this state or another state. I think things are just going to increasingly get a little bit worse. So the whole point of me being here today is to let you guys know that Gene Balk over at the Seattle Times said, hey, there's been a net loss here in this town.
While we have you here,
yeah,
we have the news coming this morning that a steel industry guy is looking to buy the Seahawks, and we invoked your name a little bit earlier.
What'd you say?
We said G. Scott says if his name is mentioned, he's not in the running. So we should just discount this story.
No, don't discount it.
His name is Aditya Mittal.
I don't want to discount any stories or anything. And by the way, this is my working theory.
Yes.
I could totally be wrong. And then later on, you're like, gee, you didn't know what you were talking about. My theory is once you hear about their name and being a potential buyer, that person ain't the buyer. It won't, I think that the way the NFL moves, they move like a G in lasagna. You see what I'm saying? It's silent. Real silent, the way they move, Amanda. Now, did you follow that one? The G in lasagna.
I had to think about it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they move. So, again, but before I go, I just want to say, that's $7.14 paying. I was just sitting there looking the whole time and put it on video. I was like, this is crazy.
When you said a G in lasagna, I pictured you swimming through. I was thinking G. Scott in lasagna. And it didn't make sense.
He would have said a me in lasagna.
There you go. You may be excused.
All right, see ya.
Sully has traffic.
And we are still struggling up the northbound I-5 corridor while rest of the map is trying to get better. Still 45 minutes from South Center to downtown. Haven't found any reason for it other than volume. And an hour and 5 all the way from Federal Way. So that's about a 15-minute delay over what you might expect. So we still have work to do. Coming up the Valley Freeway, though, we're back to 40 minutes, which is great. We're back to 35 from Renton to Bellevue. The S-curves are active. They get a nice long gap, and then you hit it again over the top of I-90. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, 405 still struggling at about an hour and 15 minutes away from down into Bellevue, with about an hour of that, maybe a little under, from Linwood. About 10 minutes faster on I-5. It's about 50 minutes from Linwood and an hour and 10 all the way. So we have work to do, but we're trying to get better. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe and get fresh video content daily.
We're expecting mostly cloudy skies, but some sun breaks too today. Mid-60s. By Saturday, we'll be up around 73 and lots of sunshine in the afternoon. It's 54 right now.
Gene Ursula's show coming up. They're going to hear from a candidate running against the state Senate Majority Leader, Jamie Peterson. That's coming up right here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with more.
24% of businesses are now thinking about leaving Washington.
Traffic.
We are definitely seeing some slowing through the S-curves.
Conversation.
We build it, we produce it, we charge for it.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! Are you kidding me?
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafedbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Insulation rebates from PSC are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSC insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSC trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222. 1 800 848 4222.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you when they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED.